And hello and welcome, as we are here for a road contest against the FBA Sharks as the Inland Valley Pirates, the visiting team wearing their customary red shirts and black lettering as well as numbering. And the FBA Sharks will be in the blue shirts and white pants and red numbering and lettering. Dave Sobirai on the play-by-play. So glad you joined us for this non-league contest as the Pirates looking forward to 3 non-league contests this week here on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Just trying to keep it, a well-oiled machine, keep tuning up the swings and also the pitchers as well, keep them in shape for what is to come. And what is to come is this Saturday, a big doubleheader against the Inland Valley Buccaneers in league play in the SCCBL, who are fresh off a 7-2 defeat of the Palm Springs Power, and they will take them on again later on here tonight at Palm Springs Stadium. That, of course, will not be on your air, as this one is here on InlandValleyBaseball.com. But then following that doubleheader on Saturday, a 4-game set against the Palm Springs Power from Monday through Wednesday, playing 2, which will both be on our air on Monday at Cal Poly Pomona. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, they will go to Palm Springs. So 6 huge league games to come later on, as we mentioned, Saturday and Monday. But right now, as we mentioned, just getting a little bit more work, getting a few more cuts, seeing a few more pitches if you're the hitters, and the same thing goes for the pitchers. Just getting a little bit of work, probably more or less you would figure over the next few days, sort of like a bullpen day for the Pirates. We're really seeing a bunch of different pitchers throwing about 2 or 3 innings because, as we mentioned, we do have 3 non-league games. But we'll see exactly what happens here from Charlie Romanoso today as we work our way to the bottom of the first inning. But in the top of the first inning, the Pirates will lead off, and we will give you their starting lineup very shortly, as today there is a great showing, which sometimes this season has been a little bit tough. There's been a skeleton crew for the lineup a few times this season, but as we mentioned here today, not only are they batting 12 in this starting lineup, but they're also going to bring a few guys off the bench as well later in the game. So certainly we figured to see a lot of guys getting swings and getting some hacks out here today as we are working our way towards opening pitch here at Upland Memorial Park, where the FBA Sharks are hosting the Inland Valley Pirates. You look at the field and you notice a couple things. Down the line's normal in the sense that it's 340 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line. So actually, if you compare that to, say, Dodger Stadium, that's actually even deeper than Dodger Stadium. But when you look out to center field and the gaps in right center and left center, that is where it differs from most baseball parks anywhere, not just from, say, a Dodger Stadium. Because if you look to dead center, it's only 360 out there, and that goes for the 2 gaps, 350. So you feel like if you get under one, or even if you just get a line drive into the power alleys here, you might have the potential to send one over the fence at this Ray Baker Memorial Field here in Upland, California. Just down the road, I guess, down the 210 from Cal Poly Pomona, about a 15-minute trip from Cal Poly Pomona. As the starting pitcher here, Josh DeVries, will take 2 more warm-up pitches and we'll get set for some non-league baseball, Pirates and Sharks. And we are set for the opening pitch. We'll start a little bit late, as we were supposed to get the 4:30 start, but we had the TV start today, 5 minutes later than the 4:30 scheduled time. Here comes Jeff Nellis leading things off, as pretty much we've seen for the most part throughout the last couple weeks here for the Pirates. Speaking of the Pirates, this is the start of the second to last week of the regular season, and then they'll go into playoff play the following week, assuming that they make it, which is why we were mentioning the doubleheader on Saturday as well as the 4 games against the Power next week are just so very, very important. 4 teams will make the playoffs this year out of 6. First pitch to Nellis misses upstairs, ball 1. 1-0 the count, and we are underway. Nellis leading off at short. Greg Espinosa is batting second at second, and this is the first time Greg has been out here all season. Foul ball behind home plate and out of play, 1-1 the count. Greg Espinosa, if you remember him, was an all-star last year for the Pirates. So here he is for the first time this season. Meanwhile, Nellis actually looks like he cracked the bat there, and so he's going to have to get a new stick for this 1-1 pitch. Then following Espinosa, his Houston Baptist buddy, Andrew Alvarez is in for the first time this season as well, another former SCCBL All-Star. So a couple of them coming back from Houston today, both of them from Houston Baptist, where they were juniors this past season. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, ball 2, 2-1 the count. Cleanup hitter, Jason Padlow. Then it'll be Channing Varela, Justin Gomez, and Jared Vega batting in the 7th spot. Typically a pitcher, but he's going to get some hacks here today. Here's the pitch from the southpaw DeVries. Swing and a miss. Strike 2, 2-2 the count. Johnny Reynoso in left field batting 8th. Justin Reynolds, another new player from Azusa Pacific, in right field. And then, as we mentioned, that's 9, but we're going to have 12 batting in the lineup. Here's the pitch. Bounces low. Ball 3. Full count. So Nick Marshall, the catcher, is in the 10 spot. Drew Seelman, the center fielder, in the 11 spot. And Sergio Robles, for only his second game of the season, is here. And he will bat in the 12th spot. So a lot of batters coming up to the plate here in the non-league game. As we mentioned, you can do the AEHs in non-league games. Fly ball, shallow right field, and that's going to drop for a bloop base hit for Nellis and the Pirates. So Nellis coming through with the hit here. And we mentioned since really probably about the midway through the second week or third week of the season with the bat, he has been very, very good. And his strong play continues here with the bloop single to right field. Here's Greg Espinosa. Meanwhile, this is how the field looks for the men in blue, the Sharks. Left to right across the outfield. Cloak, Williams, and Edmonds as Josh Jeffries comes set. Lay kick and pitch. Strike 1 in there on the outside corner. 0-1 the count to Greg Espinosa. Left to right across the infield. Espinosa, Salazar, Clifton, and Bueno. The battery of Aguilar, who's behind home plate. And the aforementioned DeVries on the hill. Foul ball, out of play over the first base dugout. 0-2 the count to Greg Espinosa, who, as we mentioned, is a third-year Pirate. And this is his first start of the season in 2015. 2014 was quite a great year for him, as he hit .380 for the season and tied for the team lead in batting average and went down to Palm Springs for the All-Star game. Lines this one foul down the first base line, and it remains 0-2 to Greg Espinosa. He and Andrew Alvarez, who are on deck, went to Houston Baptist this past season as juniors, previously members of an Orange Coast College State JC Championship team. Meanwhile, the runner Nellis goes. High fly ball, straightaway center field. The center fielder is there, Williams, and he makes the grab for the first out here in the top of the first inning. So Greg Espinosa flies out to center field. And here comes Andrew Alvarez for his first at-bat of the summer. As we mentioned, both of them, Alvarez and Espinosa, part of that 2014 state championship team at OCC before transferring to Houston Baptist, and both being starters for the team this past season. As Greg Espinosa won his spot about midway through the season, and Alvarez was the starting first baseman for much of the year. He takes a pitch on the outside corner, strike 1. 0-1 the count to Andrew Alvarez. Well, Alvarez, among other things, not only gets it done at the dish, but also a great pitcher. In fact, was the pitcher of the month in June last year in the SCCBL. Swings and misses here, and it's 0-2. So Andrew Alvarez is a guy that really pitched against the power 3 times last year and dominated them the first 2 for sure. Here's the pitch. Down low, gets past the catcher, and Nellis will take 90 feet and head to scoring position at second base. So Nellis advances to second on the wild pitch, and now Alvarez has a man in scoring position here in the top of the first inning. But we talked about it, and well, we haven't talked about it on air, but you feel like part of the reason that the Power wanted that 4-game series next week is the fact that they really just didn't want to see Alvarez a couple times this season like they did last year. And of course, we just mentioned this is the first time he showed up here because he was in Houston finishing up his classwork. And so here he is. We'll see if he throws some innings here today. Kind of just gets the arm loosened up. But right now at the dish with a 2-strike count, having to protect the plate, the runner in scoring position in the form of Nellis, called strike 3 on the inside corner. And down he goes. So that'll be the second out here in the top of the first inning. So the two guys fresh from Houston, both making outs as Espinosa flies out to center field. And Alvarez strikes out looking. And here's Jason Padlow. Jason Padlow has been very good this season. And in fact, was also very good last season for the Pirates as well. Here's the pitch. Line drive right field, just foul. And it's 0-1 here to Padlow. But Padlow, he's a guy who doesn't always show up. And so didn't show up to the Santa Barbara tournament that last week. A guy that maybe the Pirates could have used, although the Pirates did score a lot of runs, scoring 5 against the number 3 team in the nation, the Santa Barbara Foresters. And then outscoring the Conejo Oaks 9-8, as this one is lifted foul behind the first base dugout, and it's 0-2 to Padlow. So DeVries, the left-handed pitcher wearing number 19, has done a very, very good job at getting ahead of the hitters here so far in the first inning. That's always half the battle, because you can keep them off balance and throw some off-speed and breaking stuff. Ground ball up the middle. Backhanded catch made by the second baseman Clifton, and he'll fire to first to retire Padlow for the final out of the inning. So that'll do it for the first half inning. Jeff Nellis reaching on a leadoff single, but nothing doing after that for the Pirates. And it remains a scoreless tie here at Ray Baker Memorial Field between the Pirates and Sharks. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
You're never going out of style. Ooh, pretty baby, this world might have gone crazy. The way you see me, who could blame me when I just wanna make you smile? I wanna throw you like Michael, I wanna kiss you like Prince. Let's get it on like Marvin Gaye, like Hathaway. Write a song for you like this. You're over my head, I'm out of my mind, thinking I was born in the wrong time. One of a kind, living in a world gone plastic. Baby, you're so classic. Baby, you're so classic. Baby, you're so classic. Oh, a dozen roses, anything for you to notice. All the way to serenade you, doing it's not style. I'ma pick you up in a Cadillac like a gentleman, bring it glamour back, keep it real to real in the way I feel. I could walk you down the aisle. I wanna do you like Michael, I wanna kiss you like Prince. Let's get it on like Marvin Gaye, like Hathaway. Write a song for you like this.
And welcome back as we head to the home half of the first inning for the FBA Sharks going against the Inland Valley Pirates. And we will give you the starting lineups as well as the starting defense for each team right now. Leading off here in center field is Williams, followed by Damian Edmonds and Espinosa. First pitch from Stableman misses high, ball 1-0 the count. Cleanup hitter will be Kurt Cloak. Then it's Jose Bueno, Rainer Aguilar. Here's the pitch. Ground ball left side, should be a routine play for the shortstop Nellis. Fires across the diamond, and actually the hitter runs it out. So Williams reaches safely on what will have to be ruled an infield single, as it was a slow roller, and Nellis did take his time, but still thought the play would be able to be made. But the leadoff man on board here for the Sharks just like that. So as we mentioned, Aguilar was the number 6 hitter, Pendleton batting 7th, then it's Salazar and Clifton, the final two in this FBA Sharks lineup. So working out of the stretch for the first time. Pitch misses inside for ball 1-0 the count here to Damian Edmonds. Left to right across the outfield, you have Reynoso, Sealman, and Reynolds. Reynolds, the new outfielder for the Pirates today in his first start. Runner goes. Throw down to second for Marshall, and they got him. And so that'll be the first out here as Nick Marshall catches William Stilling. And I'm sure that Stableman, the pitcher, will feel good about that, because I'm sure he felt like the runner shouldn't have been on base in the first place. As we mentioned, the slow roller to the shortstop. Now back to the windup. Breaking pitch just misses low for a ball. So Left to right across the infield, you have Padlo, Nellis, Espinosa, and Alvarez. Late kick and pitch. Just misses low for a ball. And Stablin's going to call out his catcher, Marshall, to talk over the pitches, I believe. And so as we mentioned, Marshall throwing out the runner at second. And the battery of Marshall and Dylan Stabler. 3-1 the count here to Edmonds as Edmonds ahead in the count. Here comes the 3-1 offering. Called strike 2 on the outside corner. Edmonds was headed over to first base thinking that he had drawn a walk. In fact, had thrown his bat down that third base line. But to no avail. Home plate umpire says get right back in the box. And so Stablin now working a 3-2 pitch. Ground ball right past Stablin up the middle for a base hit past the diving Espinosa. So the second man reaches base here for the Sharks in the home half of the first inning. That one was definitely more of what you would consider a typical hit, as just got past Stablin and also past the diving Espinosa. But a line drive single up the middle, and here comes Espinosa. So the Espinosa at second base trying to make the diving catch. And here's the Espinosa at the dish in the blue for the Sharks. First pitch to him, breaking pitch, called strike 1 on the outside corner. And it's 0-1. So for the Pirates, as we mentioned, some very big games to get some more innings in for the pitchers, as well as to get some more, at-bats for the hitters over these next 3 days. Fouled right back at the screen, and it's 0-2. Meanwhile, for Dylan, definitely good to get ahead here, 0-2 the count. And after falling behind the last hitter, 3-1, it's just so different when you're ahead on the count, as you can come with all sorts of different purpose pitches, and let's see what the one he tries to go with here is. And actually it's nothing. It's going over to first base and sliding back head first and getting a little bit dirty over there was Damian Edwards, the number 2 hitter in this FBA Sharks lineup. Stablin in the stretch. Comes set, the runner bluffs, swing and a miss. Strike 3, down he goes. First strikeout of the game here for Dylan Stablin. Here's Kurt Cloak, the left fielder from San Bernardino Valley College. Believe that he played last season for the High Desert Heat, who used to be in the SCCBL. In fact, we're in the SCCBL for 3 seasons before going defunct this past year. Pickoff throw to first. So Kurt Cloak in the cleanup spot with 1 on and 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. This season, Stablin, 16 innings pitched for the Pirates. Here's the pitch. Down low, ball 1-0 the count. 6.19 ERA, 1.44 whip. And you mentioned this, the 16 innings, it's kind of why it's a little bit bloated there. Just, not that many innings so far. And so certainly the more innings he throws, you see that ERA going down. A swing and a miss, 1-1 the count. Well, certainly the breaking pitch has been on so far from Stablin. And so in those 16 innings of work, 9 strikeouts and 8 walks as well. So nearly a 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Of course, he did get his 10th strikeout of the season here in this first inning as he struck out Espinosa. Checks the runner at first, comes home, and the pitch misses low for a ball here to Cloak. As we're mentioning, Pirates here trying to potentially build on a winning streak as they won the final 2 games over there in Santa Barbara. So trying to, as we mentioned, start a winning streak here with 3 non-league games, and then you have the doubleheader against the Buccaneers. Once again, checks the runner and comes home. Called strike on the inside corner. Stablin, 6'3", 210. He'll be a sophomore at Orange Coast College next season, hometown of Irvine, and went to Beckman High School. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, high ground ball over to Nellis, who's going to flip the short way over to second base. And the side is retired. So a couple hits here in the inning, but the Sharks can't get any across as the runner was caught stealing by Marshall. And then right after that, Stablin striking out his first victim of the day, and then the ground ball out to shortstop. And at the end of one full inning here at Ray Baker Memorial Field, the score remains 0-0. Pirates and Sharks doing battle. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
Lately, I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be. But baby, I've been praying hard. Said no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. Yeah, we'll be counting stars. Swing my heart across the line. In my face is flashing signs. Seek it out and ye shall find. Old, but I'm not that old. Young, but I'm not that bold. And I don't think the world is sold. I'm just doing what we're told. I feel something so right. Doing the wrong thing. I feel something so wrong. Doing the right thing. Everything that kills me makes me feel alive. I've been losing sleep, dreaming about.
And welcome back. To the top of two we go. Have something to update you on in the last inning, as the first hitter couldn't see it, but apparently he did. It actually was an error that he reached on, as it was dropped by the first baseman, Alvarez. So that was just something that we had to update you with. First pitch swung on by Channing Varela and popped up in foul territory. Over to the first baseman, Bueno, who makes the catch for the first out. So one pitch and one out here for the Pirates, and the top of the second inning. And here comes Justin Gomez. Well, in a game where you're batting 12, Justin Gomez gets the distinction of being labeled as the DH. Meanwhile, you have three other EHs, which stands for extra hitter, in this Pirates lineup here today. Dave Sobera on the play-by-play. So glad you join us for this non-league game. First pitch to Gomez, strike one on the outside corner. And it's 0-1 here to Justin. Justin this season, .382 batting average, .488 on base percentage. And you think about the .488 on base percentage, certainly very, very good to say the least. Pitch misses outside ball one, 1-1 the count. Because when you think about the .488 on base percentage, pretty much nearly every two times he goes to the plate, one of those times he's finding a way to get on base. Swing and a miss, 1-2 the count. As looked like Gomez was either way out in front of it, or maybe wanted to hold up but couldn't hold up at the last second, and so he ended up going through. Lefty on lefty matchup. Jeffries going against Gomez. Fastball up, ball two. 2-2 the count. Justin Gomez will be headed to Azusa Pacific as a freshman this fall. Here's the pitch. Misses low, ball three. Full count here to Gomez. 6'0", 185-pound left-handed hitter. Hometown of Laverne. And went to Bonita High School. Play kick and pitch. Ground ball foul. Over towards the first base coach, Alex Espinosa. Alex Espinosa, the first base coach, was missing in action for a week or so, but here he is today. I know he's following online because he definitely tweeted us. Ground ball once again at the first base coach. This time he couldn't field it cleanly, though. But as we mentioned, here he is back after a little bit of a hiatus from that first base post. But as we mentioned, he was tweeting us during the games, and he enjoyed the Santa Barbara coverage. Here's the pitch. Full count pitch, misses low for ball four. So Gomez draws a walk. Just the second base runner here, but it's only the top of the second inning for the Pirates. And here is Vega, Jared Vega, up to the dish for his first at-bat of the season. As we mentioned, typically a pitcher, but he's going to swing the bat today, and actually is actually a switch hitter because we saw him bat lefty and righty in BP. First pitch misses off the plate, outside ball one. 1-0 the count. Well, Charlie heard that he has some pop from Drew Seelman, his teammate at Cal State Bakersfield, And so he's giving him a test here in the non-league game. Fastball once again outside, ball 2. 2-0 the count. Gomez on first base. Drew the walk. Vega at the dish for his first at-bat of the season. 5'10", 190. Switch hitter. Here's the pitch. Check swing. Called a strike, and it's 2-1. Hometown, Hemet, and went to Tahquitz High School, where he was a 2-time All-CIF selection, as well as a 3-time All-League performer, and also graduated with honors. Gomez bluffing over there at first, and Vega fouling it at the plate, and it's 2-2 here to Jarrett Vega. Jarrett Vega celebrating his 20th birthday last month, so just maybe, 350 days away from that epic 21st birthday, but this one's called a strike 3 on the inside corner, and down he goes. Second out of the inning. So the second strikeout looking here today for Josh DeVries, the left-handed hurler for the FBA Sharks. FBA standing for Fundamental Baseball Academy. Here's Johnny Reynoso. So Reynoso, the left fielder, stepping in for the first time today. We mentioned when we revealed the lineup back in the first inning, he's batting in the 8th spot, but 12 hitters batting today. Fly ball straightaway center field, maybe making about 10 feet over to his left is the center fielder Williams. And he's there to make the grab for the final out of the inning. So that'll do it here for the top of the second inning. We're through 1.5, and it remains a scoreless tie between the Pirates and Sharks. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
Baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise. I got my windows down in the radio. Get your radio on. What up, Nelly? Alright. I got my windows down in the radio. Get your radio on. Yeah, when I first saw that bikini top, she's popping right out of the south. Do the one, don't Lord, she had them long tail legs, couldn't help myself, so I walked up and said, baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise down the back road, throwing stop signs for the middle of every little hometown with you in this brand new Chevy with a lift kit. I look a hell of a lot better with you up in there. Baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise. I got my windows down in the radio. Get your radio on. And she was sipping on Southern and singing Marshall Tucker. We were falling in love in the sweetheart of summer. She hopped right up to.
And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the second inning. No score yet. Pirates and Sharks doing battle. 5, 6, and 7 due up here for the Sharks in the home half of the second. That is Jose Bueno at the plate, followed by Aguilar and Brett Pendleton, the DH. First pitch, ground ball, right side, two-hopper to the charging Espinosa, who actually bobbled it for a second, and then slings it sidearm over to his college teammate, Andrew Alvarez, for the first out here in the second inning. So much like the top half of the second inning, the leadoff hitter, one pitch and one out. In the top half of the inning, it was Channing Varela who flew out to the first baseman in foul territory. This time it's Jose Bueno bouncing out to the second baseman. Here is Rainer Aguilar, the catcher from Redlands University. First pitch to him, swung on and fouled out of play over the first base dugout for strike 1. 0-1 the count. Well, it's a big day for the Inland Valley Baseball Association. Here's the pitch from Stablein. Fastball, strike 2, 0-2 the count. He's been very efficient so far. As we mentioned, the breaking stuff looked very good from the first inning. And now painting the corners on the outside with the fastball, and once again ahead in a count at 0-2. This one's in the dirt, ball 1, 1-2 the count. Well, as we were talking about the Inland Valley Baseball Association, with 3 teams this year, of course, I'm sure you're aware of that, as this is the first year we've gone to 3 teams, but also today, all 3 teams in action. Here's the pitch. Ground ball right side, hack, two-hopper to the second baseman Espinosa, who made it look a little bit more exciting than maybe it should have been, but Alvarez makes the backhanded grab for the second out. So a couple ground ball outs to the right side of the infield here for Stablein. And there's 2 down here in the bottom of the second inning. Here is Brett Pendleton, the DH from Vanguard University. Vanguard University, the home of one of our league rivals, the OC Riptide. In fact, I will be making a trip out there next Tuesday as the Bucks will take on the OC Riptide in a league game. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, right center field, deep right center field. And chasing after it is the center fielder, Seelman. It's over his head. One hops the wall, and that'll be a stand-up double. So Pendleton at second with a stand-up double, as Seelman was in relentless pursuit of the ball, hitting the right center in the gap, but couldn't get there in time. And as we mentioned, the fences are very shallow out there in center and right field. 360 to center and 350 to the gaps. So you wonder, and probably not, probably gets over Seelman's head no matter what, but you wonder if maybe he was running a bit gingerly, more gingerly than he would have been if the fence was more like 400 feet back there, and maybe could have sprinted into that, because we've seen this season that Seelman really has great foot speed out there in the outfield. But maybe a little bit hampering his ability to kind of sprint full at it. This one is another fly ball in the gap, but this time Seelman has the inside track on it and makes the grab about 10, 15 feet away from that left center wall. And so the side is retired here in the second inning. And Stablein has been doing a good job so far. 1 strikeout and 1 hit allowed at the end of 2. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the top of the third inning. No score yet between the Pirates and Sharks. There is a new pitcher on the mound as Eric Geiger has come on to replace Josh DeVries. So you go from one Riverside City College pitcher to the next. Strike one, 0-1 the count as it was swung on and missed by Justin Reynolds. Justin Reynolds' first plate appearance of the season. 1 of 3 here today. Starting for the first time. Fly ball deep left field. Going back to the track is Cloak. And he will make the grab 5 feet away from that 350 sign in left center field. So 1 up and 1 down here in the top of the third inning has Justin Reynolds maybe just getting a little bit underneath it. And couldn't clear that sign out there in 350, as we mentioned, about 10 feet away from the fence over there. And here comes Nick Marshall. Well, Nick Marshall this season has been a catcher for the most part. I mean, you see DeSegli and Gomez as well. There have been 3 catchers swing and foul, and it's strike 1, 0-1 the count. But DeSegli breaking his wrist a couple weeks ago, so that narrowed it down to 2 catchers for the Pirates, and so more often than not, you'll see them trading off pretty much every other day. Ground ball right side, but right at the first baseman. And the first baseman on the 1 hop steps on the bag. That's Bueno for the 3 unassisted. and a couple outs here now already in the third inning. So the pace of this game has been going by pretty quickly, as we've only had 3 total hits so far in the top of the third inning. Here's Drew Seelman, the center fielder, and then it'll be Sergio Robles after him. Foul back at the screen, strike 1, 0-1 the count. So a couple of Cal State Bakersfield guys going back-to-back here in the lineup. Seelman will be a sophomore next year. The man on deck, Robles, will be a freshman. Cal State Bakersfield this past season, the Roadrunners doing a little bit of damage in the tournament. Fastball at the knees called a strike, as they did make the tournament for the first ever time, and also won an elimination game before being eliminated by UCLA. Here's the pitch. Fastball, lined foul, down the right field line. Chasing after it was the right fielder, Edmonds, in relentless pursuit, and just couldn't get there in time. As we mentioned, it was down that right field line, but hit on a line by Seelman. And Seelman's a guy who was an interesting BP, because you see a lot of them work on specific things, and that's some of the reason why I always like getting to the park early. Not that I wouldn't get there anyways early to set up all my equipment, but he was a guy that was just mixing it up, going pull left field and then line right field. This is a ground ball to the shortstop, though, Salazar, who stays down and makes the throw across the diamond to retire the center fielder Seelman. And so the side is retired in order, as 5 in a row have been set down by the Sharks, and at the end of 2.5, it remains a scoreless tie. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back. To the bottom of 3 we go. Still no score here at Ray Baker Memorial Field in Upland, California. First pitch from Stableman, swing and a miss, strike 1. 0-1 the count to the left-handed hitter, Austin Clifton from Riverside City College. So we're seeing a number of Riverside City College players here for the FBA Sharks. Second pitch swung on and missed, 0-2 the count, as well as also a number of San Bernardino Valley players for the men in blue. Once again, Stableman ahead in the count. Here's the 0-2. This one misses low, ball 1. 1-2 the count. Well, we got confirmation that I said I did think I remembered Curtis Cloak, who was a cleanup hitter. Got confirmation from his dad that, yes, he did play on the Heat last year. And I was thinking the whole time he was batting, he's 6'4", and I remember him catching. And so I was wondering if it was a different guy, but his dad confirming that fact that, yes, he did play at Cal Poly Pomona catcher, as this is going to be a line drive down the third base line off the bat of Clifton. Clifton rounding first and headed into second, and he'll slide in foot first for a double. And so that'll be the second double of the game for the FBA Sharks. But this one is a leadoff double. The previous one was with 2 outs in the second inning. So this one a little bit tougher maybe to get past. And on a 1-2 count, as we mentioned, Stableman was ahead of the hitter. And just punching it to the opposite field on a pitch that was outside was Austin Clifton, the number 9 hitter in the lineup. And now we go back to the top of the lineup, and Williams, who takes strike 1 on the inside half, 0-1 the count. Well, if you remember, back in the first inning, he reached on an error by the first baseman, as initially I thought that he had beaten it out, but later hearing that the first baseman actually dropped it. Ground ball right side, 4-3, as Espinosa will make the play to first for the first out here in the top of the third inning, but the runner advances 90 feet to third base. So a productive out there from Williams in the sense that he moves the runner over, and almost basically like a sacrifice there. And now the corner infielders are going to play in. You know, another thing that's interesting about this field, as you can see, the middle infielders aren't playing really in, as probably you'll kind of let the run score in the third inning. Breaking pitch, strike 1, 0-1 the count, as it was right in at the knees to Edmonds. But the infield, it's not that, it doesn't go back that far. So even though it looks like they're at the edge of the infield, they're kind of, to me, it seems like they're almost playing medium depth. Ground ball left side, charging is Varela. The runner's going to come home now, as nobody was covering third. Varela makes the tag, and so that is a big base running blunder there for Austin Clifton and the Sharks, and that'll be the second out. So interestingly enough, on a slow ground ball to the left side of the infield, the runner was not off, and I guess when Jeff Nellis, the third baseman, wasn't covering the bag, the runner Clifton decided that he might try to test it a little bit, but Varela alertly saw him and continued to run him back to the base and beat him out to the bag and made the tag for that second out. So a big second out there. And I was going to say it was just big in the sense that it looked like the runner wasn't going to go in the first place, but maybe once he thought that Varela was going to throw it to first, that's when he thought his opportunity or his window was to score, and Varela said not so fast. Breaking pitch in the dirt for a ball here to Espinosa, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout swinging. And so, speaking of Varela is at short right now, and Dallas is at third. So we were talking about the 12 men in the lineup. So we figured to see some changes in the field as well from extra hitters. Ground ball through the left side of the infield for a base hit. So there's, meanwhile, running to third and caught out is the runner Edmonds. Edmonds trying to test the left fielder Reynoso. I'm not quite sure why, as it was right in front of him. As the ball was hit right in front of him to Reynoso, and really, as we mentioned, the field is not that big, so left fielder wasn't that far away. So another base running mistake, a couple in the inning. And that'll do it here for the bottom of the third. At the end of the 3, it remains a scoreless tie. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back. Well, it's the top of the 4th inning, and Sergio Robles was in the starting lineup. And this is his first at-bat. How could that be, you may ask? Well, 12 hitters are batting in the lineup today. First pitch to him, breaking pitch, strike 1. 0-1 the count. Sergio Robles, 6'0", 190, right-handed hitter from Cal State Bakersfield. Hometown of La Puente, went to Bishop Lamont. The 0-1 misses inside. It was a fastball, and it's a 1-1 here to Robles. Robles, among other things, won a CIF title at Dodger Stadium with Bishop Amat. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, ball 2, 2-1 the count. So obviously that must have been a thrill for number 6 to just be, at Dodger Stadium playing a game there, and then to also get the win. It's been a great feeling. Line drive to right field for a base hit, right center at that. And it was a really soft liner, hit off the bat of Robles, but it reaches for a single. And so the Pirates get a leadoff man on board here in the top of the 4th inning. Just the second base hit of the day. The only other man with a base hit is Jeff Nellis, who's at the plate right now. Jeff Nellis led off with a bloop single to right field, and another little basically flare out to right center is the second hit. So the Pirates, so far, the offense not coming through as the way it did in Santa Barbara. First pitch foul tipped, I believe, for strike 1 off the bat of Nellis, and it's 0-1. That also stopped a streak of 5 in a row retired by Shark pitching. Taking his lead off first base is Robles. Geiger comes set. Here's the pitch. Fastball low. Ball 1. So 1-1 the count to number 1 for the Pirates, who is 1 for 1 as we mentioned here today. Jeff Nellis, 6'0", 185, right-handed hitter. Played for Orange Coast College, where he was a member of a state junior collegiate championship team. This one misses inside for another ball. As we mentioned, a number of Orange Coast College players on the Pirates roster, either previously or currently. And so Jeff Nellis headed to Long Beach State for his junior season, committing to them this summer. Takes inside for another ball, ball 3. Hometown, San Marcos, went to Mission Hills High School, looking to take advantage here of a hitter's pitch. Checking the runner at first is Eric Geiger. Once again, checking back there. He'll come set, and here comes the pitch upstairs, ball 4. 5-pitch walk drawn by Nellis. And the Pirates are looking to get some momentum going here in the top of the 4th inning, as the first 2 runners reach base, 1 on a hit and 1 on a walk. And here's Greg Espinosa. And Espinosa, for his second at-bat of the season, flew out to center field in his first one, so he's just 0 for 1. Meanwhile, we have a change in the base coaches, as Aaron Reynoso is now the third base coach, and the first base coach is Ryan Marcos. And so you'll see that a little bit in non-league games. You'll see them mix and match some of the base coaches and give Aaron a chance to potentially develop his style or maybe his strategy of being a third base coach, if he may in fact be a head coach next season. First pitch to Espinosa, misses inside, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Espinosa was squaring around, and you would say that definitely it would make sense to try to lay one down and try to sacrifice both runners in the scoring position with no outs. That's oftentimes what a number 2 hitter is asked to do. This one swung on, though, and foul behind the plate, and it's 1-1. So Greg Espinosa maybe will get to swing away here with 2 runners on and no outs in the top of the 4th inning. No score between the Pirates and Sharks. Pirates threatening really for the first time today, although Jeff Nellis has been at second once before. Runners go. It was a hit-and-run ground ball foul down the third base line. And so it's a 1-2. So a little bit of aggressive play calling there. If you're not going to try to sacrifice, maybe you're going to try a hit and run. And it looked like that was what the call was from Aaron Reynoso, as Robles will head back to second base and Jeff Nellis will head back to first. And Espinosa now will have to protect the plate with a 2-strike count. As we mentioned, Greg, a member of the team all 3 seasons, 2013, 14, and now here he is in 15, the right-handed hitter with the open stance, who before going to Houston Baptist went to Orange Coast College. Here's the pitch. Upstairs and over towards us, as both runners will advance to second and third now on the wild pitch from Geiger. So, talked about potentially sacrificing, which seemed like it was never the plan. And then you talk about maybe hidden running, and just like that, the wild pitch ends up moving both runners over, and really, you got it for free, as there was nothing that you did to move them over. Now the infield's in here with a 2-strike count for Espinosa. He swings at this one and chops it over the shortstop's head. In comes 1 run. That's Robles. And Nellis will hold at third. And it's 1-0 Pirates on an RBI single by Espinosa. So Espinosa, as we mentioned before the pitch, the infield was pulled in, and he did exactly what he needed to do. Chopped it high over the head of the shortstop Salazar. And as we mentioned, 1-0 is the score. Pirates on top. So far, so good in this 4th inning, as the Pirates bats have awakened. And 3 men up, and all 3 reaching. It was Robles who singled to right field, Nellis who walked, and Espinosa with the RBI single. First pitch to Alvarez, called strike 1. 0-1 the count to Andrew. Andrew, like Espinosa, up for the 2nd time of the season. He's 0 for 1, 6'4", 230. Right-handed hitter. Here's the pitch from Geiger. The runner goes. Pitch misses outside, and the catcher, Aguilar, kind of bluffed over to second, making it look like he was going to throw it to second, but decided to keep it in his hand. So Espinosa now with his first stolen base of the season. And meanwhile, 2 runners are in scoring position here for Alvarez. Pitch misses inside, ball to Andrew. And Andrew's a guy who certainly took advantage of runners on scoring position many times last season. And was one of really the top hitters on the team as well as the top pitcher. Fastball low. Another ball to Alvarez. Well, there is a base open. But surely with no outs, you're not thinking that, especially after the first 3 have reached here in the 4th inning. Geiger comes set, working on a stretch from the right side of the rubber. Here's the pitch. Fastball, line foul down the first base line. So this is the heart of the order here with the runners on 2nd and 3rd and no outs. Alvarez, Padlo, and Varela due up here for the Pirates in the top of the 4th inning. 1 run already in. That was scored by Robles on an RBI single by Greg Espinosa. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's strike 3. Down goes Alvarez. So Alvarez strikes out for the 2nd time. And here comes Jason Padlo, the cleanup hitter. Padlo's 0 for 1. Grounded out to the second baseman. And his previous at-bat, 5'11", 200. Right-handed hitter with baseball oozing through the veins. As we've mentioned before, his brother, Kevin, plays in the minors, as well as his grandfather and father being scouts at the professional ranks. His father in the Giants system and grandfather in the Yankees system. Pitch misses high and away, ball 1. 1-0 the count. Hometown of Marietta. Went to Marietta Valley High School and played for Cal Poly Pomona for the last couple of seasons. Had to take the medical red shirt this past season. Misses inside, ball 2. 2-0 the count to Padlo. Padlo, among other things, has really been a consistent hitter both times for the Pirates back in 2014 and 2015. This year entering the day with a .385 batting average. Takes low. Oh, it's called a strike on the inside corner. And he just kind of smiles and shakes it off as he will walk around in the batter's box and head back up with 2 runners in scoring position here. And 1 out in the top of the 4th inning, 1-0 the score. Fastball lined to left field for a base hit. Nellis comes home to score. Espinosa being given the breaks by his third base coach, Reynoso. And it's 2-0. So Nellis, as we mentioned, scored on the RBI single by Jason Padlo. 2-0 the score. Still 1 out. Varela at the dish. Meanwhile, we're going to get a mound visit here for the FBA Sharks. As the first 3 innings, really there was nothing doing for either side, as there was only a few hits for each team. And now here in the top of the 4th inning, Pirates with a couple runs in already. And so far in this inning, 5 batters come to the plate. And 4 of the 5 have reached base. Anytime you can do that, you certainly feel good about yourself and how you're playing offensively. And we mentioned offensively is how the Pirates have really got most of their wins this season, which is kind of a little bit different from 2013 and 14. But offensively, really, for the most part, especially when you looked at Santa Barbara, those first 2 games going against really, really talented teams, scoring 5 runs even in a loss against the Foresters, then scoring 9 runs against Conejo Oaks, were 2 pretty good performances, as well as the doubleheader against Team San Diego earlier in that week, scoring 6 runs and 5 runs in both of those games. So offensively, the Pirates have looked very good as of late, as we mentioned. And then coming through with more of a Pirate win in that final game on Santa Barbara where they won 3-2. Line drive up the middle, and that's a base hit for Channing Varela. And an RBI base hit at that as Espinosa comes home to score, and it's 3-0. So the Pirates continue to rake here in the 4th inning, as now 6 hitters have come up to the plate in this 4th inning, and 5 of them have reached base. Padlo now on second, Varela at first, Gomez at the plate. Well, Varela, here's the pitch to Gomez, just hits the upper zone, calls a strike, 0-1 the count. Gomez is, well, this is actually his first official at bat as he walked to the first time. But Varela has been pretty quick in the batter's box today as he flew out on a first pitch the first time he was up there and singles up the middle the second time on a first pitch. And so now, swinging a miss at the plate by Gomez. Didn't get the opportunity to talk about Varela, but good news for him. He's standing at first, as we mentioned, with the RBI single. Here comes the pitch from Geiger. Way outside ball to Gomez. Varela was offered a full scholarship to Lamar University, who I know was intently following our coverage in Santa Barbara as they were watching all 3 games up there. And so the pitch misses off the plate outside for a ball to Gomez. And so he's going to take a trip to Eastern Texas, which is where it is, Beaumont, Texas to be exact. And he's going to be out there on Monday of next week. Fastball in the dirt, 58-footer. Nice block by the catcher, Aguilar, to ensure that the 2 runners didn't advance 90 feet. And so selfishly, I was like, wait a minute. Channing, you can't go next Monday? There's a doubleheader against the Power. But he said Tuesday and Wednesday he would be back in Palm Springs to play them. Line drive foul down the left field line. Obviously for him, certainly getting a visit to a D1 university in the Southland Conference is something that I think you have to take the opportunity to check it out, and full expenses paid therefore there, as he will be flying across the country on their dime. Fastball misses upstairs, ball 4. Gomez drawing the walk. So now the bases are loaded here as Jared Vega steps up to the plate, 0 for 1, struck out looking, and as we mentioned, typically a pitcher, but this time, this is the first time he's gotten to take, at-bats here this season. This is his second at-bat with the bases loaded. And the pitch is going to get by the catcher. Wild pitch. Padlo comes in to score. Another run here for the Pirates here in the top of the 4th inning. 4th run to score. This time, as we mentioned, on a wild pitch. So still an opportunity for Vega with a couple men in scoring position and just 1 out to potentially come through with an RBI. And we understand that the Buccaneers had that similar opportunity for their pitchers last Friday, July 3rd, when we were in Santa Barbara. They were up in a game 20-3 and ended up allowing some of their pitchers to get a hit. And David Cressmar actually ended up going 1 for 1 with an RBI. So Vega hoping for a similar thing here, although this is his second at-bat. Pitch to him. Ground ball right side. And it's over the head of the leaping first baseman and gets into right field. Varela scores. Gomez also scores, and it's 6-0. And really, when it rains, it pours here for the Sharks, as the momentum has continued for the Pirates. And only 1 batter retired so far here in the 4th inning. And you look at how many have come to the plate. 8 have come to the plate, so 7 of 8 have reached base in this inning. Here's Johnny Reynoso, 0 for 1, flew out to center field. Breaking pitch, called strike 1, 0-1 the count. Vega on first. It's really a tweener. I mean, depending on how you rule that one, maybe you feel like the first baseman should have caught it. Another high chopper over to first. This one foul. But it did bounce very high, and he was leaping, and it was kind of over his head. So we'll have to go over and try to figure out exactly what we want to rule that with Charlie Reynoso after the game. At the moment, I'm more inclined to give him a single. Reynoso awaiting the 0-1 offering outside ball one. 1-1 the count. Johnny Reynoso. We talked about all the returning Pirates. As Alvarez, his second year here for the first time today, and Espinosa third year. Of course, Johnny has been on the team for all 3 years, and he's been here the entire season. Ground ball right side, 4-6-3, inning-ending double play. But the damage was done as the Pirates, in this inning, have scored 6 runs and take a 6-0 lead. It was Sergio Robles who started it all off with the single to right center field. Nellis kept it going with a walk. Espinosa had the RBI single. Padlo an RBI single. Varela an RBI single. Gomez walked and scored. And Vega with the bouncer to right field scoring 2 on that one. And so that'll do it for a very eventful top of the 4th inning. 6-0 the score. Pirates on top of the Sharks. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back. We have a new pitcher on the mound here for the Pirates here in the 4th inning. That'll be Ryan Allsworth. So Ryan Allsworth taking over for Stable Inn, who worked a very solid 3 innings. No runs allowed. Leg kicking, here's the pitch. Fastball misses low for ball 1 to the cleanup hitter, Kurt Cloak, who's 0 for 1, grounded out to the shortstop, who flipped it over to second to finish off that 1st inning. The second pitch here from Allsworth. Called a strike on the outside corner. Meanwhile, another SCCBL action right now. San Diego Force all over the OC Riptide early. 3-0 the score out there. There's a pitch. This one is lined to deep right center field. Looks like it's over the head, and it's gone. It's a home run. And so the first batter to face Allsworth going opposite field, Curtis Cloak, takes it out, and it's 6-1. So just like that, the Sharks get one back here in the home half of the 4th inning, and we were just about beginning to mention the fact that for 3 innings, really, nothing happened. There was nothing doing for either side, only a couple hits for each team, and then here in the 4th inning, you have 6 runs scored by the Pirates in the top half, and the first batter comes up and hits a home run in the form of Cloak here in the bottom of the inning. Swing and a miss, strike 1, 0-1 the count to Jose Bueno. And that was just a line drive bullet out of the right center fence. As we mentioned, it is a little bit shallow out there. Called strike here, 0-2 the count to Jose Bueno. 350 to right center, and that was hit a little bit to the left of the sign, so probably about 355 where he hit it out. Here's the pitch. Blown away. Ball 1. 1-2 the count. Allsworth has had really not that much playing time this season for the Pirates. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and down he goes. So that'll be the first out here in the home half of the first inning. But Ryan Allsworth, as we mentioned, just hasn't gotten that much playing time yet. 5 innings pitched. In those 5 innings, though, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. But the 7.20 ERA and 2.00 whip, which unfortunately after that home run, the ERA is going a little bit higher. Strike 1 at the plate. 0-1 the count to Rainer Aguilar, who's 0 for 1. The ground out to the second baseman. Second baseman being Espinosa. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch misses low for a ball. Meanwhile, Varela still at short, and Nellis still at third. As we mentioned, we figure to see a few changes when you have some extra hitters who are eligible to go out in the field when they're in the lineup. Ground ball foul down the third base line. So Padlo started at third, and for most of the innings since then, it's been Nellis who shifted from short to third, and Varela, who's an extra hitter, going to shortstop. And typically, we'd seen Varela playing second base this season, but with Espinosa back, Espinosa's at second, and Varela looking like he's going to play short. Pitch misses off the plate outside for a ball there to Aguilar. Late kicking the pitch. Just low for another ball. Ryan Allsworth, 6'1", 160. Right-handed pitcher. He'll be a sophomore at Cal Poly Pomona next season. Working out of the windup. Fastball misses low for ball 4. And so that'll be the second base runner here. Although really the first base runner didn't stay on base for very long, as that was Curtis Cloak, who hit the bomb out of the right center fence. And 6-1 the score. Brett Pendleton, the DH, at the plate here, 1 for 1. Doubled back into the second inning. So the Sharks trying to scratch and claw their way back into this game as they fell behind in a 6-0 hole in this very inning. And then the first batter in the inning, homering to right center field. First pitch misses off the plate outside, ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Brett Pendleton. This past season at Cal Poly Pomona, Ellsworth making 20 appearances, 30 innings pitched, 4.50 ERA. So was solid for Cal Poly Pomona and relief for them for a majority of the season. Late kicking pitch, fouled back at us off the bat of the left-handed hitter Pendleton. Allsworth, a business administration major at Cal Poly Pomona, hometown of Yorba Linda, and went to Servite High School. And among other things, pitched under a 1 ERA in high school. In fact, a 0.75 as a senior. So, obviously a very good senior year at Servite. Servite, typically a very great athletic program, as this pitch misses off the plate outside for a ball. Now, specifically in football, they had Troy Thomas at the helm of that football program, were one of the best teams not just in the state but the nation. And he would come to the field in his full suit, and now he's doing that at Crespi. Here's the pitch. Ground ball right side, backhanded grab made by Alvarez, who makes the throw to Varela, and they have turned too. And one of the slickest and maybe best double plays we've seen this summer, as Alvarez covering a lot of ground, making the backhanded grab, throwing it to Varela, and Varela turning it over to first base for the 3-6-4 double play. And so that'll do it here for the fourth inning. The Sharks get 1 back, but they remain behind by 5 as the Pirates got 6 in the top of the fourth inning. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
There must be some kind of way out of here, said the Joker to the thief, yeah. There's too much confusion. I can't get no relief. Yeah, I see jokers on my left, beats up on my right. You find me in the middle with a picked a different life. Before my name started trickling inside, but I'm still showing signs, all attributed tonight. In the pitch black, it's too cold, I'm all alone. Take me back to the roadside, to roam to get here and I'll hitch back. Get a cab to my mother's house, see my old man and grab a six-pack. Tell my brother I love him and give him something that will see him through the hard times. What's a brother for? When I'm sick of this life I see, it has to be my family who lift me off the floor. Make sense of all the madness, in a world full of money, full of tears, full of war. I was a power man, I worked from the earth up. Save your wine for the entrepreneurs. Take a sip full of sin and let your taste buds savor the buzz. The flavour of a little man of nature that lingers on as animals in all of us. Trying to fight for the right to live a life where some will never win, no, that's why they live a lie. I don't think I'll ever win, all of this is anything. When I die I hope a lover's at my side. There's no trapdoor or get out clause. The world can be a restaurant or a set of jail doors. You've seen mine, I think it's time I see yours. I bet you that we've been scarred by the same swords. So we're not so unalike, apart from the fact I live my life in the light and now I'm trapped in it. The way I feel within a few years time, I might have a couple kids and just forget I ever wrote lyrics.
And welcome back as we head to the top of the fifth inning after a very eventful fourth. No score at the end of three, and all of a sudden in the fourth, the runs piled on for the Pirates. As the Pirates scored 6 runs in that inning. And then it continues to the first batter for the Sharks, who homered to right center field. That was Cloak. And so 7 runs scored altogether in that fourth inning, 6 by the Pirates. Foul back off the catcher by the hitter Justin Reynolds. Reynolds 0 for 1. Flew out to left field and hit a fly ball right to that 350 sign, maybe about 5 to 10 feet away from that sign, out there in left center field. But the left fielder, Cloak, got underneath it and made the grab. Here's the pitch. Ground ball left side, chopper over to the shortstop, and the shortstop Salazar can't handle it. And so reaching on an error here is Justin Reynolds. So the Pirates get a leadoff man on base here in the fifth inning, much like they did in the fourth inning when they ended up coming through with that 6-run fourth inning. In that fourth inning, 9 men coming up to the plate. And normally you'd say, well, when 9 men come up to the plate, you'd say you bat around the lineup. But as we mentioned a few times, 3 extra hitters in the game on a non-league game here today. So I guess you would say that's why they didn't bat around the lineup. Here's Nick Marshall for the second time today. 0 for 1. Takes low, ball 1 in the dirt. 1-0 the count here. Meanwhile, there is a new pitcher on the mound from Redlands University. That's Adam Stead, wearing number 47, left-handed pitcher. So the Sharks mixing it up a bit as they went 2 innings with a lefty. Then came in relief with a righty for 2 and back to a lefty for another, what you would presume, 2 innings. Squaring around was Marshall and letting it go low for ball 2. 2-0 the count to Nick Marshall this season. Marshall is batting .255. But you look at the on-base percentage at .367, and you see that this is a guy that's finding a lot of ways to get on base. Not necessarily just hitting, but also walking and maybe reaching on an error every once in a while. Swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch. 2-1 the count. 5'11", 225 is Marshall from Texas Tech, where he'll be a senior next year. Guy who always wanted to go to Texas Tech and originally committed there out of high school, but injured himself and was out for 14 months. 2-1, fouled off the screen, and it's 2-2. And so then he had to go the JC route for a couple of years and went to a couple different JCs, actually, going to Golden West for his freshman year and Panola College near the Texas border of Louisiana his sophomore year, and then playing well enough there to finally find his way back at Texas Tech. Ground ball, one hopper over to the hot corner. The third baseman putting on the brakes and throwing to second and getting the force out there. So Espinosa throwing out the runner Reynolds over there. And Nick Marshall on base on the fielder's choice. Here's Drew Seelman. Seelman 0 for 1. Grounded out to the shortstop. Well, it was interesting because when that 6-run fourth inning happened, before that, the pitching had really stymied the offense for the first 3 innings. In fact, they had a string of 5 in a row retired. And before that even, going back to that, in between those 5 retired, they had 4 in a row retired. So 9 of 10 altogether were retired before that 6-run fourth inning. Pitch catches the outside corner for a strike here to Seelman. Seelman, as we mentioned, from Cal State Bakersfield, 5'11", 170. Major in engineering there. And so a lot of the times we talk about a lot of the players not just being great on the field, but also in the classroom. As this one's fouled back at the screen, Seelman is definitely an example of that, because in high school, Drew Seelman at Temecula Valley was honored as the school's best math student. And as you can imagine, when you're great at math, one of the majors that you might end up pursuing is engineering. And so that's exactly what he did. Ooh, nice breaking pitch. Breaks too hard and too fast and misses low for ball 1. 1-2 the count to Seelman. So Seelman doing a good job there to let that one go, showing the plate discipline with 2 strikes. And once again is going to have to fight off another 2-strike count, protect the plate, and this one misses low as well. 2-2 the count. Well, that's always tough. It's always the toughest thing, and you always find out when you're a good hitter, or how good of a hitter you are, I should say, when you can hit with 2 strikes on you, particularly when you're down in a hole, like in 0-2 or now 1-2. Of course, taking 2 balls, and now he has a 2-2. Here's the pitch. Line drive right side, and actually it gets gobbled up by the grass. Flipping the second is the second baseman Clifton, and once again a fielder's choice here as they get the lead runner, Nick Marshall, out at second base. So 2 out in the top of the 5th inning. 6-1 the score. Pirates on top of the Sharks. As we mentioned, all 3 of our Inland Valley baseball teams are in action today. Bucks will start their game in an hour and 10 minutes against the Power in a Big S CCBL League matchup. Meanwhile, the other Bucks, the OC Bucks, nice slider, strike 1. 0-1 the count here to Sergio Robles. The OC Bucks are playing at home right now at Cal Poly Pomona, and they are trailing 4-2 early in that game. And for them, this 2-game stretch they have today and tomorrow is absolutely huge, monumental. Picked off as Seelman, but Seelman's going to steal second base. Wow. We mentioned earlier that Drew has very, very good foot speed when he made a play in center field, and that kind of demonstrated it right there. On a left-handed pitcher, you go on first motion, and so the throw came to first, and they were not able to throw him out at second. So as we mentioned, credit Seelman with a stolen bag, and now he's in scoring position here for Sergio Robles, who swings at this one and fouls it at the plate. Sergio Robles just here for the second time this season, as we mentioned, when he was up the first time today. And he singled and scored and started off that whole 6-run fourth inning. Late kicking the pitch. Swinging and a miss. Strike 3. Down he goes. So that'll do it here for the top of the fifth inning. We're halfway through this baseball game. Still a 6-1 score. Pirates on top. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
You spin my head right round when you go down, down.
You spin my head right around when you go down,
Hey, I got the house with my swagger, hopping that window, I got places to go. People to see, time is precious, I look at my Cartier out of control. Just like my mind where I'm going, the women, the shorties know nothing but clothes. No stopping on my Pirellis on roll, unlike my jewelry that's always on roll. I know the storm is coming, my pockets keep telling me it's gonna shower. Call up my homies, it's on and popping the night cause it's meant to be ours. We keep a fadeaway shot cause we ballin' this platinum Patron every hour. Look mama, ow, you just like the flowers. Girl, you the truth with all that goody powers. You spin my head right round when you go down, down.
You spin my head right around when you go down,
From the top of the pool, I watch her go down. She got me throwing my money around. Ain't nothing more beautiful to be found. It's going down. From the top of the pool, I watch her go down. She got me throwing my money around. Ain't nothing more beautiful to be found. It's going down. Shawty must know I'm the man. My money lover like a number one fan. Don't open my mouth, let her talk to my fans. My Benjamin Franklin lands. A couple of grands, I got rubber bands. My paper planes making a dance. Get dirty all night, that's part of my plan. We building castles that's made out of sand. She's amazing, on fire blazing, hotter than Cajun. Girl, won't you move?
To the bottom of 5 we go. 6-1 the score. If you're just joining us, that fourth inning was where all 7 runs were scored, believe it or not. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 0-1 the count to Frank Salazar, who's 0 for 1 on the day. All 6 runs scored by the Pirates and the lone run scored by the Sharks, all in that fourth inning. Late kicking the pitch. Here's the 0-1. Called strike 2. 0-2 the count. So Allsworth getting ahead here of Salazar. As we mentioned, he's 0 for 1. Flew out to center field. Ryan Allsworth now. Should he get out of this inning unscathed, or really just should he get out of this inning at all, will be the pitcher of record, because this is the 5th inning as the baseball was fouled back to the screen, and it remains 0-2. So Ryan looking for his first victory of the season. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Down he goes. Second strikeout for Ryan Allsworth. Allsworth entering in the 4th inning in relief of Dylan Stabelin. So, as we mentioned, with 3 non-league games in the next 3 days, we figured to see something more along these lines, where you look at maybe 3 innings here and there for pretty much all the pitchers for the Pirates, as, you know, just all of them trying to stay sharp for the big league games. Ground ball right side, easy ground ball for the second baseman. And the second baseman, Espinosa, makes the play for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 down pretty quickly here for the Sharks, as the leadoff hitter Williams steps up to the dish. Williams in this game is 0 for 2. Did reach on an error back in the first inning, and also grounded out in the second inning to the second baseman Espinosa. So Espinosa might be looking for another baseball to come around his way, as we've had a number of actually ground ball outs to the second baseman. Meanwhile, Nick Costello is in the game at third base. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 0-1 the count here to Williams. Also, we have a new first baseman. That's Tyler Urbach. So the corner infielders are new in the form of Costello and Urbach. Pitch misses inside for a ball. I would try to give you the outfielders, but too hard to see there. Definitely Sealman still in center. and can't really make out the other two corner outfielders. Fell back behind the plate. Actually, Jacob Bernardi, I can make out. He's in left field. So Bernardi has come into left to replace Reynoso. As we mentioned, Urbach in for Alvarez at first. And Costello in at third. Foul behind home plate. And out of play. And if you heard that, it was a loud thud as it hit sort of the snack shack and press box area here at Ray Baker Memorial Field. Leg kick in the pitch. 2-strike pitch fouled off and maybe fell off the leg of Marshall. But actually it looks like Marshall's okay. At first it looked like he was kind of hunched over, with his hands down on the ground. But I guess it was just because the foul ball kind of worked its way past him. And at the very least, we've seen that he has sort of that, as we mentioned, hockey-type personality and attitude, as I think a lot of catchers do. But pretty much any time he gets nicked up, he just remains in the batter's box. Ooh, this one just maybe missing high for a ball. And so good eye shown right there by Williams. Ellsworth from the left side of the rubber, working on the windup, fires, fastball swung on and foul. Out of play down the first base line. Meanwhile, it looks like we might need some new baseballs, as one will come from the third base dugout. Over to Ryan Allsworth. Allsworth, as we mentioned, we talked about at Servite High School how he had the microscopic ERA also, was very good in the classroom, 3.8 GPA, which he received principal's honor roll for. Line drive in the center field for a base hit. So Williams reaches for the second time today, and the first hit for him. And here comes Damian Edwards. Edwards has reached both times, singled in the second inning, and reached on a fielder's choice in the third inning. Edwards from Cal State San Bernardino, wearing number 10. Actually was thrown out at third base on an interesting decision, and I'm not sure if it was just his decision on his own or if it was the third base coach's decision, but it was a ground ball hit through the left side of the infield that he was on first base for, and the ball was hit in front of him. Pitch misses outside. Throw down the second, and Marshall got him for the second time. So a couple times trying to steal a bag on Marshall, and a couple times Nick saying, not so fast. And that'll do it here for the home half of the fifth inning. At the end of 5, it remains a 6-1 ball game. Pirates leading. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back to the top of the lineup we go, which in this case will be Nick Costello. So Nick Costello enters here. As we mentioned, he was in the field at third base in the previous inning. And here he is to lead off this inning in the spot of Jeff Nellis. So Jeff Nellis will be done for the day as Greg Espinosa takes his warm-up swings on deck. And we'll see if Andrew Alvarez is still going to bat in the hole. And yes, he still has a helmet on. So even though Urbach entered, Alvarez will still serve as a DH or an EH type of hitter. First pitch, nice slider, strike one. 0-1 the count to Costello. The Costello, 6'1", 185, right-handed hitter from Pepperdine University, where he'll be a redshirt sophomore next season. Takes fastball, strike two, 0-2 the count. So quickly falling behind is Costello. Hit .264 for them as a freshman this past season. He was what we normally call a late add to the Pirates, but here today they've had three new adds. Nice charging play by the shortstop who throws on the run. And so actually, I believe that's a new shortstop for the Sharks. And so good play made there. It was Clifton who made that play. So Clifton, who started at second, is now at short for them. Here's Greg Espinosa at the batter's box for the third time today. He's 1 for 2. Check swing would call the strike, and it's 0-1. Singled and scored in the fourth. Also had an RBI as the infield was playing him in because they were trying to play for a play at the plate, which at this moment sounds kind of crazy when it's a 6-1 score, but at the time it was important. Line drive, right center field, base hit, the second of the day for Espinosa, and that's pretty much what he did last season. As we mentioned, leading the team with a .380 batting average. And here today, 2 for 3. And here comes Andrew Alvarez. Alvarez, 0 for 2. Couple strikeouts here in this game. Just working his way back here for the first time this season. As we mentioned, currently playing for Houston Baptist. He actually started his career at Pepperdine University before transferring to Orange Coast College. There's that nice slider in there for another strike. 0-1 the count. Well, it looks like Talon Parker can really throw that one well. The left-handed pitcher here for the FBA Sharks. Little pick-off, basically a fake over there to just try to make sure that Espinosa was paying attention as he slides back head first to the bag. This one misses inside for a ball to Alvarez. Well, we have a lot of interesting or different or maybe unique things going on in this game. As, first of all, Charlie Reynoso, typically the third base coach and obviously the manager, not really doing the coaching on the base paths here in this game for the most part in a non-league game. Meanwhile, who have been doing it were really Aaron Reynoso and Ryan Marcos, who have now switched positions, as Ryan Marcos now at third and Aaron Reynoso at first. Also, another unique thing was the fact that it was actually Vic Espinosa who created the lineup today. As the pitch misses low, breaking pitch in the dirt, snap throw down at first, and sliding back to the bag safely was Espinosa. So, two Houston Baptist teammates right now, one on first, one at the plate. Of course, they enjoyed success in the Southland Conference Tournament, where they came through and won and made the NCAA tournament. Played in a very tough regional. Runner goes, found back at the screen by Alvarez. And among the other teams they played, I believe Rice and Houston were in that regional. So very, very tough regional down south in Houston. Talon Parker comes set, checks the runner at first. That's Espinosa. Now fires to the plate. Breaking pitch. Hard, biting breaking pitch. And a nice block there by the catcher, Aguilar. Aguilar making sure that that thing stayed in front of him, and Espinosa wasn't able to work his way into scoring position. So the Pirates trying to take advantage here of potentially another big inning with the meat of the lineup up with one out in the top of the sixth inning. 6-1 the score. Fastball grounded to the left side. Two-hopper at the third baseman who makes an error as he kind of olayed that. It was sharply hit, but pretty much right at him. And so Alvarez does reach for the first time here, but he reaches on an error, and there's 2 men on base for the Pirates here in the top of the 6th inning. Here comes Jason Padlo. Padlo's 1 for 2. Had an RBI single in the 4th inning and also scored. Well, we mentioned back in the 4th inning, Pirates sending 9 to the plate, scoring 6 runs, and really seemed like there was almost they could do no wrong until the inning ended on a ground ball double play. But, I mean, before that ground ball double play, 7 out of 8 hitters had reached safely. Strike 1 on the outside corner. 0-1 the count here to Jason Padlo. And Padlo, if you remember, and I know this is something that Charlie has said in, just in pregame or before the games or whatever it be, when you make him angry, it's almost like that's when he comes through the best. And if you remember, right before he hit that RBI single that he actually crushed to left field, this one's fouled back, 0-2. He felt like there was a pitch that was called a strike, but he didn't really like it. And so he kind of walked out of the batter's box, walked around, kind of regathered his train of thought, and stepped right back in there and came up with the aforementioned line drive to left field for a base hit and an RBI, and also ended up scoring a run later in the inning. Play kicking the pitch, the 0-2 lifted foul and out of play over the first base dugout. Now, meanwhile, if you can see in about the middle left corner of your screen, there are lights here. I'm not sure if they'll be used, as we did get a 4:30 start time, so I'm assuming that they're not going to use the lights, but it's just worth noting because as of late, between both the Pirates and the Buccaneers, we've seen a number of games that ended up as ties. In fact, we've seen 3 this season altogether. And then we have a 4th game that's still pending because that was a league game with the Force that is not going down as a tie yet. Breaking pitch in the dirt. And so either it's going to just end up being a game that happened but didn't really happen, it's kind of off the books, or it's going to go down as a game that has to get completed later if it matters for the SCCBL playoff standings, which would be very interesting to see how they decided to do that, because really it could just be a 1 inning to be played. And would the Pirates have to, travel all the way down south to San Diego to potentially just play 1 inning? Well, I guess if they were on the winning end of it, I think it would be well worth it. But I almost feel like if they did that, they should just play sort of an exhibition game or something after it, so that the players who make the trip kind of get their at-bats and, get some practice. Breaking pitches in the dirt and advancing 90 feet to third is Greg Espinosa, who did a great job of diagnosing that pitch in the dirt and taking the extra 90 feet. Alvarez stayed put at first. And so now there's runners on the corners and 1 out here for the cleanup hitter, Jason Padlo. As we mentioned, Padlo 1 for 2. Hoping to take advantage of his second RBI opportunity here. On deck, Channing Varela. In the hole, Justin Gomez. Pitch is lined to right field, and that's going to get in fair territory for a base hit. In comes Espinosa, and Alvarez will stay at third. And so it's the second RBI single of the day for Padlo. 1 to left field and now 1 to right field. 7-1 the score. So Jason Padlo has been on a tear. And even though he didn't play last weekend, as we mentioned, he didn't make the trip up north to Santa Barbara, the hitting tear that Padlo has been on has continued here today with a couple RBI singles and a run scored as well. Here's Channing Varela, 1 for 2. He has an RBI single and scored in the 4th inning. Swing and a miss, strike 1, 0-1 the count. Well, if you remember, this is the first time he's seen a second pitch, as the previous 2 times, first pitch swinging, flew out to the first baseman, and first pitch swinging lined up the middle for the RBI single. So this is the first time in 3 plate appearances where he'll see a second pitch, which is kind of funny just in the sense that if you recall going back, I believe it was against Team San Diego in that doubleheader, the first 2 times he came to the plate, he ended up seeing 14 pitches. So pretty much the exact opposite of that. This time, he takes ball 1, 1-1 the count. So the first time he didn't swing on the 4th pitch you saw of the day. So sometimes you just see something different that you don't typically see. Maybe Varela trying in a non-league game to just jump on first pitch and take advantage of the first pitch. Here's the 1-1 with 1 out. In the top of the 6th inning, 1 runner already in. So on and foul back, 1-2 the count. As we mentioned, Channing Varela receiving that scholarship offer from Lamar University in Eastern Texas, part of that Southland Conference that the man standing on third base, Andrew Alvarez, is a part of, as well as the man who just scored in Espinosa. So you know you have good competition in that conference. And the question is, as Channing was saying, just seeing it as the fastball misses high, ball 2-2 the count to number 2 on the Pirates, just being able to see it and go there and kind of just see how the facilities look like and see what the campus and school looks like, and being able to visualize and picture himself there. Of course, some people will say that when you get offered a full scholarship, there's not much visualizing you're going to have to do. The runner, Padlo, heading down to second is safe as the throw came too late. Padlo, reading it in the dirt, takes the extra 90. And really, that was a good job by him as the throw was offline from the catcher, Aguilar. So now 2 runners in scoring position here for Varela, who took ball 3 on that last pitch. And it's now a full count. So a payoff pitch to come here as the Pirates looking to put together another big inning. Full count pitch, lined right back at the second baseman, who makes a nice backhanded stop and throws Varela out at first, but Alvarez crosses home to score, and it's an RBI groundout for Varela. And it's now 8-1. So the score now 8-1, as we mentioned. RBI groundout by Varela, his second RBI of the day. And here is Justin Gomez. Gomez, no official at bat. Couple walks, 1 in the 2nd and 1 in the 4th, and scored a run, one of the 6 runs that the Pirates scored in that 4th inning. First pitch to him, blown away, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Meanwhile, on deck you have Tyler Urbach. So Tyler Urbach will hit in the spot of Jarrett Vega. Here's the pitch from the lefty. Called a strike on the outside corner. As we mentioned, for the first 3 innings, no score. Then you had 6 scored by the Pirates in the 4th. 1 by the Sharks on a home run in the bottom of the 4th. 5th inning, nobody scoring. High chopper, right side. First baseman deep in the hole. Gomez trying to beat it out, but just can't get there in time, as a nice play was made by the pitcher who covered the bag. And that'll do it here for the 6th inning, the top of the 6th inning at bat. But the Pirates get a couple more runs, and it's now an 8-1 ball game at the end of 5.5. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit me get up. First shot, come strut walking, a little bit of humble, a little bit of cautious, somewhere between like Rocky and Cosby's for the game. Nope, y'all can't copy yet. Glad moonwalking, and this here is our party. My posse's been on Broadway, and we did it all way. Chrome music, I shed my skin and put my bones into everything I record to it. And yeah, I'm on. Let that stage light go and shine on down. Got that Bob Barker suit game and Plinko in my style. Money, stay on my craft and stick around for those pounds, but I do that to pass the 12. give it to the people, spread it across the country.
Here we go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night, we'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us, like the ceiling can't hold us. Here we go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night, we'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us, like the ceiling can't hold us.
Now, can I kick it? Thank you. Yeah, I'm so damn grateful. I grew up really wanna go fronts, but that's what you get when Wu-Tang raised you. Y'all can't stop me. Go hard like I gotta eat it in my heartbeat. And I'm eating at the beat like it gave a little speed to a great white shark on shark. We raw. Time to go off. Gone. Deuces goodbye. I got a world to see. My girl, she wanna see Rome. Caesar make you a believer now.
And welcome back as we head to the home half of the sixth inning. 8-1 is the score. The Pirates leading the Sharks. 2-3-4 due up here. Edmonds, Espinosa, and Cloak for the new pitcher, Andrew Alvarez, on the mound for the first time this season. Strike one. 0-1 the count here. Working against Edmonds, who's reached both times on a single and also on a fielder's choice in the third inning. So Alvarez towing the rubber for the first time. Throws one low and away. Ball 1-1 the count. I mentioned when he was hitting earlier in the game that he was the SCCBL Pitcher of the Month in June last season. Nice pitch there on the inside. Called strike two. 1-2 the count. Hometown of Riverside. Went to Martin Luther King High School. Here's the two-strike pitch. Foul back behind home plate. And it remains a two-strike count here to the hitter Edmonds. Among other things, Alvarez enjoys the Yankees and Derek Jeter as two of his favorites, although I know that was his favorite as of last year. High fly ball in the infield. And this one is going to be called for by Urbach, who makes the backhanded catch. Oh no, it fell to the ground. And so that'll be an error on the first baseman, as I guess he couldn't. Really tough play there, because it's funny because almost like Alvarez, you never want to catch it as a pitcher. That's just one of the things. But Alvarez as a first baseman as well felt like maybe he could have made the play. But Tyler Urbach calling for it and not being able to grab it. So that'll be a runner on base by an error. Now this one's lined down the third base line for a base hit. And it could be an extra base hit at that. The throw from Bernardi in the third base gets past Padlo. And it'll just be a single. But there are now runners on the corners here for the Sharks, as Espinosa singling down the third base line. And so now a little bit of a jam here for Alvarez in his first work of the season. Although, as we mentioned, could have been averted if that first grab was made on the error. And also a little bit of a jam because of who's at the dish right now. That's Cloak, who is 1 for 2, but the one was a big one, as he cleared the wall in right center field for a home run. Mentioned a very big right-handed hitter at 6'4", playing previously last couple years at San Bernardino Valley College. A few San Bernardino Valley players throughout our program in the Inland Valley Baseball Association. Pickoff throw to first. Andrew Alvarez working out of the stretch, as we mentioned. Really last season put up amazing numbers as a pitcher, but here in a jam for his first inning of this summer. Like he can pitch, line drive left field, and that'll be another RBI off the bat of Cloak, the second of the day for him. And that's going to be a double, so also the second extra base hit for Cloak. So Cloak coming through with the RBI double, and it's 8-2. Here comes Jose Bueno. Bueno 0 for 2. Rounded out to the second baseman and struck out swinging in the fourth. So Cloak, as we mentioned, doing a little bit of damage here against the Pirates, but still a 6-run lead for Inland Valley as the breaking pitch misses low for ball one. 1-0 the count. Well, just to drive home the point or talk about really how good Alvarez was last season. 44 2/3 innings pitched for the Pirates. 5-0 record, 2.42 ERA, and a 1.21 whip. Also had 38 strikeouts in those 44 2/3. But a little bit of a different start here. First pitch. This is off the plate for a ball. The Sharks trying to get back in this game here, as they have 1 run in already with no outs and 2 runners in scoring position. At third is Espinosa. At second is Cloak. Strike 1, and on the outside corner, 1-1 the count. So 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs. Bottom of the 6th inning, 8-2 the score. Meanwhile, as we mentioned, just giving you some of the scoring updates, because as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, fly ball left field, and that'll get down for a base hit. It's now 8-3, as that'll be an RBI single for Jose Bueno. So moving up to third base was Cloak. Obviously now on first is Bueno, as the Pirates have given up a couple here in this inning. Well, it was Stableman who started it off for 3 innings and allowed no runs. And then Allsworth working 2, allowed 1. And here is Alvarez giving up 2 so far with still no outs in the inning. Blown away, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Aguilar. Aguilar 0 for 1. Grounded out to the second baseman and also drew a walk in the 4th. Checking them runner at third, and no one holding him on was Alvarez. It's called to strike at the knees. Aguilar questioning the home plate umpire, but nodding his head in approval to whatever he told him after the pitch was called to strike. Here's the pitch. Misses inside for a ball. Well, just to go back to at the beginning of the game, we were telling you about all 3 teams in action for the Inland Valley Baseball Association. The OC Bucks are currently in action at Cal Poly Pomona and are tied 4-4 at the end of 6. And Tyler Urbach can't make the play, as a run will come home to score. And that'll be the 3rd run of the inning. The ball actually hit the base runner, Bueno, in the right leg, the right hamstring, to be exact. And Urbach couldn't field the pickoff throw over there at first base. And maybe not the best of throws, but maybe one that should have been caught. And Pirates, some mistakes starting to pile up here in the 6th inning, as 3 runs have already scored, and it's now 8-4. As we mentioned, it was 8-1 entering the inning. And a couple of mistakes mixed in with a couple of hits for the Sharks. Foul ball behind home plate. Still a 2-strike count here for Alvarez, working against Aguilar. Meanwhile, the on-deck batter, Pendleton, will pick up that loose baseball and head back to the on-deck circle here for the Sharks. A little bit of a breeze. Meanwhile, also, you have shadows beginning to trickle in here at Ray Baker Memorial Field. You got left field shadows, as well as shadows on the left side of the infield from some of the light posts that we mentioned earlier in the game. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Down he goes. And that'll be the first out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Edwards reaching on an error. Espinosa then singled. Cloak had the RBI double that scored Edmonds. Bueno then with an RBI single that scored Espinosa. And Cloak came home on that pickoff attempt over the first, which Tyler Urbach couldn't handle. And so it'll be ruled as error by the pitcher, as this one misses low and away for a ball. 1-0 the count here to Brett Pendleton. Pendleton's 1 for 2, doubled in the 2nd inning and grounded out into a inning-ending double play in the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. Snap throw down the first, and Bueno actually is off the bag. Bueno, I think, hurt himself going back to first base. The tag was definitely made as he started running away from Urbach down the first base line. But obviously what you're more worried about or what you're more considering is the health of Bueno, who was picked off by Nick Marshall. So that'll be the second out as he continues to labor his way over towards the third base dugout limping. And so he must have hit the bag wrong, just must have hit it in the wrong spot. And so that hurts the Sharks' comeback efforts at the moment, as that'll be the second out as we mentioned. And here is Pendleton. Pitch from Alvarez. Swung on and lined foul and out of play over the third base dugout down that third base line. So as we mentioned, though, all three teams in action. Just to finish that story, Bucks, as we mentioned, the Inland Valley Bucks are taking on the Palm Springs Power in Palm Springs, starting at 7. Swing and a miss, strike 2. And so that'll be starting in half an hour down there in Palm Springs. 2-strike offering from Alvarez. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Down he goes. So striking out the last 2 batters he faced, mixed in the middle with a runner who was caught off the bag by Marshall. And that'll do it here for the home half of the 6th inning. But 3 runs did come home to score, and it's now 8-4, Pirates on top. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
Peace up, A-Town down. Yeah! Okay, yeah! Ush, 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 ush. Let's go! In the club with my homies, tryna get a little VI. Keep it down on the low key. She know how it is. I saw her shorty, she was checking up on me. From the game, she was sitting in my ear. You would think that she knew me. Decided to cheat. Conversation got heavy. She had me feeling like she's ready to blow. Watch out! She's saying, come get me, come get me. So I got up and followed her to the floor. She said, baby, let's go. When I told her, I said, yeah. Johnny got down and said, come and get me. I got so caught up, forgot she told me. Her and my girl used to be the best of homies. Next thing I knew, she was all up on me screaming. She's all up in my head now. Got me thinking that it might be a good idea to take her with me. She's ready to leave. Well, let's go. And I gotta keep it real now. Cause on the 1 to 10, she's a certified 20. But that just ain't me. Hey, cause I don't know. Take that chance, she swears it's gonna leave. But what I do love is the way she dances. Make shawty alright with me. The way she gets low. I'm like, yeah, just work that out for me. She asked for one more.
And welcome back as we head to the top of the 7th inning in an 8-4 ball game. Neither team scoring until the 4th, as the first 3 were scoreless innings for each team. Then in the 4th, 7 runs in total being scored, but it was lopsided in the fact that 6 of them were scored by the Pirates, who took a 6-1 lead. And then they extended the lead to 8-1 in the top of the 6th before breaking pitch misses inside ball 1 here to Tyler Urbach, who's on for his first at-bat of the day. And then the Sharks answering with 3 in the home half of the 6th made it 8-4. So through 6 innings, 4 of the innings were scoreless, and the other 2 were all the damage was done. Strike 1, 1-1 the count. So Urbach in for his first at-bat, as we mentioned. Also pitching to his first hitter would be Jesse Gonzalez. Leg kicking the pitch. Strike. Oh, no, not a strike, excuse me. And his ball 2. 2-1 the count. So 2 balls, 1 strike to Tyler Urbach, who is leading off this 7th inning. Meanwhile, Jacob Bernardi on deck will get his first plate appearance. Strike 2. 2-2 the count. So Bernardi, as we mentioned, came in as a defensive replacement in left field, entering in the spot of Johnny Reynoso. Here's the 2-2. misses high, ball 3, full count pitch. So Urbach working a full count here. If you remember, he was part of that ninth inning, that bottom of the ninth walk-off inning that the Pirates had. Fastball in the dirt, ball 4, draws a walk. And he was part of that inning that he continued the inning by drawing a walk, and here he goes in his first plate appearance of this game, also drawing a walk. And here comes Bernardi. So Bernardi, as we mentioned, hitting in Reynoso's spot. Meanwhile, on deck is Reynolds, and pitching visit now here with the Sharks, as the first hitter that Gonzalez faces, he ends up walking. And so maybe they're just trying to settle down the right-handed pitcher for the Sharks, as they're probably just telling him throw some strikes here. As we mentioned, a lot of guys showing up today, so 12 men in the lineup, and now starting to see a few more enter in the form of Urbach and Bernardi, and we also saw Costello get his first at-bat in the last inning. So altogether, 15 hitters used so far, and that's just so far. First pitch here to Jacob Bernardi. Strike 1 on the inside half, 0-1 the count to Jacob. 6'2", 190, right-handed hitter from Cal Poly Pomona. Will be a sophomore next year. Redshirted in 2014. This year as a freshman. Started for them as part of that D2 team that made the World Series. Takes a lone inside for a ball here. Major of Business Administration at Cal Poly Pomona. Hoping to go about his business here and continue maybe the momentum and the rally offensively for the Pirates. Swing and a miss. 2-1. Hometown Temecula. Went to Chaparral High School, where he was an all-league performer, as well as a 2-time honor roll student. Taking a long look at first as the pitcher, Gonzalez, still looking over at first and Tyler Urbach, and now fires low and away. Gets by the catcher. Urbach heading down the second, slides in feet first, and he is thrown out as he is caught stealing. So Urbach caught there as the ball got by the catcher, but maybe not far enough for him to be able to advance to second. And so that'll be the first out here in the top of the 7th inning. Meanwhile, Bernardi remains at the dish, awaiting the offering. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, down he goes, and I guess it bounced in the dirt, so the catcher had to tag him out to finish that out there. So Bernardi goes down swinging, and here comes Justin Reynolds, who's 0 for 2. This is his first game of the season. Flew out to left field, and also reached on an error by the shortstop. First pitch to him, off-speed pitch on the inside corner, strike 1, 0-1 the count. If you remember, the ground ball to the shortstop was hit pretty hard, but, right at him, so definitely an error. Meanwhile, this one is fouled right back at us, and it's 0-2 here to Reynolds. Justin Reynolds playing for Azusa Pacific, part of that D2 Western Regional, low and away, ball 1, 1-2 the count. And so originally, when the rosters first came out for the Bucks and the Pirates, there were 17 or 18 guys who were part of this program in that D2 Western Regional, and the numbers just have called strike 3 on the outside corner. I don't think Reynolds will like that call, as he's still kind of staring at the plate. But basically what I was saying was really the numbers for that D2 Western Regional have even increased since we first had that 17-18 number, as we had a couple of them now playing for the OC Bucks, and here's Reynolds. So, a bunch of guys in that D2 Western Regional that was hosted by Cal Poly Pomona. And that'll do it here for the top of the 7th inning. After the leadoff walk, Tyler Urbach gets caught stealing, and the next 2 strike out. And it's time to stretch here at Ray Baker Memorial Field. The score remains 8-4, Pirates on top. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
Three strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Four, it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. 8-4 is the score. Another new pitcher on the mound here for the Pirates is Nicholas Sergi. So Sergi, the 4th pitcher today for the Pirates, started with Stablein for 3. Allsworth went 2. Alvarez 1. And here is Nicholas Sergi. He's working against the bottom of the lineup, Frank Salazar, and then Austin Clifton, strike 1, 0-1 the count, and then back to the top of the lineup, and Williams. So the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up here, and the home half of the 7th inning for the FBA Sharks. The 0-1, strike 2 on the outside corner. 5'10", 160 right-handed pitcher is number 36 for the Pirates, Nicholas Sergi. Sergi, if you recall, last time he threw was last Wednesday. And in that game against Team San Diego, this ball is lifted in foul territory down the third base line and out of the reach of both Padlo and the left fielder, Bernardi. In that game, he entered in the third and finished it out and went 7 innings in game 1 of the doubleheader and ended up getting the win as he shut down the opposition for those 7 innings and pitched very well against Team San Diego. This one missed inside for a ball. Well, really, it's just been against Team San Diego. I guess you could say smooth sailing if you look at the overall numbers. Ground ball, hack, hit over to the third baseman Padlo, who makes the throw to first to retire Frank Salazar, who was basically just at any cost just trying to make contact with the baseball, trying to protect the plate on a 2-strike count, and did get it in the field of play, but as we mentioned, right over to Padlo. So Padlo's back over there at third base. As we mentioned, the infielders have kind of been moving around here in this game, and Costello, who we saw at third a couple innings ago, is at second. Also, Alvarez is back in at first. Fly ball, left field, and Bernardi has it. And so that'll be the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 down here for Nicholas Sergi. Sergi headed to Cal State East Bay, where he will be a junior next season. Went to Arcadia High School, where he was selected as the Mid-Valley News Scholar Athlete of the Year. And that's just seemingly been a theme today. Just so many players, not just talented on the field, but also in the classroom on the Pirates. Swing and a miss. Strike 1, 0-1 the count to Williams. Williams 1 for 3. Reached on an error in the first. Also singled in the 5th inning and then was caught stealing. Nicholas Sergi this season, 17 innings pitched for the Pirates. 2.65 ERA, 1.41 whip. And in those 16 innings, pretty much a 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. As this one is called a strike on the inside corner. 8 strikeouts to 7 walks. So maybe you'd like to see that a little bit higher in the strikeout to walk ratio, but overall has been pretty effective and has been pretty good. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And so that'll help that tally as he now notches his 9th strikeout of the season and sets down the side in order here in the home half of the 7th inning. We'll head to the top of the 8th in an 8-4 game. Pirates on top. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
Well, I just heard the news today. It seems my life is gonna change. I close my eyes
And welcome back as we head to the top of the 8th inning. 8-4 is your score. Pirates are leading the host FBA Sharks. That stands for Fundamental Baseball Academy, which we mentioned previously. But if you were wondering again, that is what the FBA on their jerseys stand for. If you can see that, if you can see the pitcher's lettering, probably can't necessarily see it. Marshall at the dish, takes a strike. Nick Marshall today, batting in the number 10 spot in the lineup, 0 for 2. Did reach on a fielder's choice back in the 5th inning. Blown away for a ball. Well, the Pirates, as we mentioned, looking to build upon their 2-game winning streak, looking for a 3rd win in a row here. And really, line drive right side, nice catch made by the second baseman, Clifton. And so that'll be the first out here, as he kind of had a little bit of a diving catch, as he made a nice play sort of on the edge of the infield dirt and the outfield grass for the first out. And also, as we mentioned, we were mentioning the shade starting to trickle in a little bit here. And now, batter's box is encompassed in a little bit of shade, and the mound is entirely in shade, as the first pitch misses in the dirt low for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Drew Seelman. Seelman 0 for 2, grounded out to short, also reached on a fielder's choice, and stole second base back in the 5th inning. Here's the pitch. Ooh! Hit him in the helmet, as Seelman will jog it off, and in the process of jogging it off, gives the thumbs up sign to his third base coach, Ryan Marcos. And so, I guess he got the good part of the helmet, in the sense that even though it knocked the helmet off and he was hit in the head, must have hit off the bill of that helmet. And so Seelman will head down to first base. And here comes Sergio Robles. Sergio Robles, and then back to the top of the lineup, which now is Nick Costello, followed by Greg Espinosa and Andrew Alvarez. Here's the pitch. Strike 1 on the outside corner. 0-1 the count to Sergio Robles. Robles on the season, 3 for 6, 1 run scored, 1 RBI. This is just his 2nd game. Here's the pitch. Line drive left side right at the shortstop, who's throwing over to first, and tried to double up the runner Seelman, who slid back head first, and actually ended up making a throwing error. So Seelman advances to second on a throwing error by the shortstop. Robles lining out to short, and here comes Nick Costello. Costello, 0 for 1, grounded out to the shortstop in his previous at-bat in the 6th inning. And back to Greg Espinosa and Andrew Alvarez. Those are who are due up next after Costello, should he find a way to reach base here in the top of the 8th inning. 8-4 the score. Pirates on top. Fastball, strike 1, 0-1 the count. Well, it was no score for the first 3. Pirates taking a 6-1 lead in the 4th. No runs scored in the 5th. Pirates getting 2 more in the top of the 6th to take an 8-1 lead. But the Sharks answered with 3 of their own in the bottom of the 6th to make it 8-4. 1-1 the count now to Costello as the last pitch missed low for a ball. And that's where we stand now, as nobody scored in the 7th. And so the Pirates trying to cling on to that and hold on to that 4-run lead. 1-1 swung on and missed. 1-2 here to Nick Costello. So as we mentioned, Pirates did have a 7-run lead at one point, but a little bit of a tough inning there when Alvarez was pitching in terms of a couple errors. Line drive at the shortstop, makes the diving catch, and that'll do it here for the top half of the 8th inning. So Costello is retired on the 2nd liner in a row to the shortstop. And we'll head to the bottom of the 8th. We've played 7.5, 8-4 remains the score. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. the bottom of 8 we go. 8-4 the score. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. So glad you joined us for this non-league matchup featuring the Inland Valley Pirates taking on the host FBA Sharks. A high fly ball to deep left center field. And that is off the base of the wall in left center. As for a second, I thought it might clear the fence. As we mentioned, just 350 to the gap. And Seelman was looking straight up, but hitting off the wall for a stand-up double here for Edmonds. So, first pitch, Edmonds swinging and lifting it to the power alley in left center. And now you got Espinosa in the heart of the order due up here. Espinosa 2 for 3 today. So he's been a good spot in that lineup, singling each of his last 2 at-bats. Also scored the second run in that 3-run 6th inning. So the Sharks trying to get back in this game, trailing by only 4 runs with a runner in scoring position and no outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Fastball strike 1. 0-1 the count here to Espinosa. Espinosa is at the bat, and then on deck is Curtis Cloak, who his last 2 at-bats have been pretty good, to say the least. Home run and an RBI double, and also a couple runs scored. Here's the pitch. Line drive left center field right at Bernardi. So Bernardi was playing him well. And so even though it was a line drive that was hit very hard, right at Jacob for the first out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Well, Nicholas Sergi, we mentioned his stats in the previous inning, and really as of late has been a very steady pitcher in relief for the Pirates. Headed to Cal State East Bay, playing for Citrus College the past 2 years. And really, we mentioned a couple of times, strike 1, 0-1 the count here to the cleanup hitter, Cloak. Mentioned a couple of times, not only just getting it done on the field, but also in the classroom, as Sergi was an all-state academic player this past year with a 3.79 GPA at Citrus College, in addition to being named an all-conference performer. Ground ball left side right at the third baseman, Padlo. Padlo checks to the runner at second and fires across the diamond to retire Cloak for the second out. So Padlo making sure that that runner, Edmonds, stayed put at second. And here comes, this looks like this will be a pinch hitter. So Jose Bueno is out because if you remember, he actually banged his leg up over there at first base the last time he was at the plate. I do not have a 19 on the roster. So actually, no, I do have a 19 on the roster. This is the starting pitcher, DeVries. So DeVries swings and misses at strike 1. 0-1 the count. So DeVries getting a plate appearance after, as we mentioned, starting the first couple innings. Sergi set at the hip, checks the runner at second, no one holding on. Fastball lined in left field, so DeVries hitting one in the left field. The throw is going to be cut off by Padlo. The plate, and they got him. And so a nice relay play there. Bernardi to Padlo, and the tag applied by Marshall. And that'll do it here for the home half of the 8th inning. So a leadoff double for the Sharks, and they can't score a run, as Edmonds is thrown out from the outfield for the second time in this game. As we mentioned, 7-5-2 if you're scoring at home, and we'll head to the final inning in an 8-4 ball game. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back. To the top of 9 we go. 8-4 is the score. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. So glad you joined us on InlandValleyBaseball.com for this non-league matchup. First pitch, strike one to Espinosa. 0-1 the count. Espinosa, 2 for 3 today. Couple runs scored, an RBI, and a stolen base. The 0-1 misses inside ball one, 1-1 the count. On deck is Alvarez. In the hole, Padlo. So 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup is where the Pirates are at right now. Fastball away, but called to strike. And it's 1-2. So perhaps a good frame job there by the catcher. As to where I was sitting, it looked like it might have been a bit off the plate. Line drive foul down the right field line. And it remains 1-2 here to Greg Espinosa. Well, really, I guess for all the runs that were scored, breaking pitch in the dirt, I mean, right at the 2.5-hour mark. So, relatively, when you consider 12 runs scored, not necessarily dragging on that much. Here's the pitch. Fastball lined through the right side hole. Espinosa with 3 hits in his first game as the right fielder came up firing over to first, and that was DeVries, who we saw come in and have the hit to left field in the last inning, and actually took one, I believe, off the face. But he looks like he's okay and is just shaking it off and kind of actually smiling and laughing it off maybe. But Espinosa, as we mentioned, 3 hits. So a very good start for him for the Pirates this season. 3 for 4. And here's Alvarez. Alvarez is 0 for 3. Couple strikeouts, reached on an error by the third baseman, and scored a run back in the 6th inning. In that 6th inning, Pirates getting 2 runs, extended their lead to 8-1 at the time. Breaking pitch, strike one on the outside corner, 0-1 the count to Alvarez. As we mentioned, through 8 innings, there's only been 2 innings where each team scored in. A little bit maybe unusual. Pitch called to strike, 0-2 the count to Alvarez. As we mentioned, 12 total runs scored, but all 12 being scored in just 2 innings. It was the 4th inning and the 6th inning. So if you miss those 2, I feel a little bad for you. Here's the pitch. Fouled, and it remains 0-2. Well, in that 4th inning, Pirates scoring 6 runs. And that was the one game, that was the inning where really you felt like Pirates kind of broke the game open, where they had, out of 8 hitters in a row, 7 of them reaching safely. Called strike 3 on the outside corner, and down Alvarez goes. So that'll be the first out here in the top of the 9th inning. Here's Jason Padlo. Padlo 2 for 3, couple RBIs, also a run scored. On first base is Espinosa, who singled through the right side of the infield. Here's the pitch. Fastball, strike one, 0-1 the count to Padlo. Well, as we mentioned, there will be another game for the Pirates tomorrow. And the game tomorrow will be played, hopefully you would say under the lights, because it's a 6:30 start. There's another single through the right side of the infield, this one by Padlo. So a couple hits in the inning now for the Pirates. As Padlo, just like the man standing on second, Espinosa, now with 3 hits on the day. So Jason Padlo, as we were mentioning last time he had the RBI single, actually this is the first time that he didn't get an RBI single with a hit. But the last time we were mentioning, even though he didn't play last weekend, he continues to be hot at the plate. And showing that he's just in a rhythm right now. And here's Channing Varela. Varela, 1 for 3, couple RBIs and a run scored. And here's another guy who we also have mentioned has been on a tear, specifically in Santa Barbara, where he had 8 hits in those 3 days. Breaking pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Throw down to second base. It was a bit late. Espinosa staying up on his 2 feet, and it's 1-0. Pirates will take on the Gamers baseball team on Thursday and Friday in a home and away series. As we mentioned, the game tomorrow better have lights because it's a 6:30 start. So we assume at East LA College, yes, there are lights there, called strike at the plate to Varela. And so that's where the Pirates will do battle with the Gamers baseball team tomorrow at 6:30, which will be live on our air. Swing and a miss. And so night game under the lights. You don't have too many of them during the summer season. Just maybe out in Palm Springs, you play a couple out there. But otherwise, no night games. And then we'll be back at Cal Poly Pomona on Friday for a 4:30 start. Also, that one game will be on our air live on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Here's the pitch. Line drive, right field, but the second baseman makes the leaping catch and then fires the short way over to second to complete the double play. So it looked like it might have gotten over the head of the second baseman, but as we mentioned, leaping, showing some hang time and making the double play to end the inning. And so that'll do it here for the top of the ninth inning. We're through 8.5, and it remains an 8-4 game. Sergi on the mound to try to close this one out and actually try to not just save because he entered in the 7th inning. So when you enter in the 7th, when you go 3 innings, you can get a save, and that's what Sergi's looking for here when we return on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
Could you whisper in my ear the things you wanna feel? I'll give you anything to feel it coming. Do you wake up on your own? I wonder where you are. Live with all your faults. I wanna wake up where you are. I won't say anything at all. So why don't you smile?
And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the ninth inning. Sharks down to their final 3 outs. Sergi, as we mentioned, who entered in the 7th, looking for the 3-inning save here for the Pirates. First pitch, misses low for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Aguilar, who is 0 for 2, and drew a walk back in the 4th inning. 6, 7, 8 due up here in the final inning. As the fastball misses low and away, ball 2, 2-0 the count. Meanwhile, if you're wondering about some other SCCBL action that's going on right now, at the very moment, the Riptide are playing the San Diego Force as this ball is lifted foul and out of play down the third base line. And a high-scoring affair in that one, as they're in the bottom of the 7th, and the Force lead 8-5 over the Riptide. The Force defeating the Riptide last night. Here's the pitch, fouled right back at the screen. And so now it's a 2-strike count here for Sergi. And as we mentioned in the last inning really that we had a game tomorrow at 6:30, which will be our next broadcast, and then Friday at 4:30. This one is through the 3-4 hole on the right side of the infield for a base hit. So Aguilar with a leadoff single, getting things off to a good start here for the Sharks. And here comes Pendleton. Then on Saturday, we have a doubleheader at Cal Poly Pomona for you. That will be live against the Inland Valley Buccaneers and a SCCBL doubleheader. Still not sure. The games might be getting moved to 1 o'clock, as it was something that Charlie Reynoso had talked about earlier in the week, but haven't gotten confirmation about that. As of now, it's scheduled for 2, but certainly we've seen in the past some of the 2 o'clock starts really not be able to be finished. Swing and a miss, strike 1, 0-1 the count. I think one of the differences, though, about this one would be the fact that if you had to, potentially, if you started at 2 and couldn't finish the second game, I think it would be a little bit easier to get the Pirates and Bucks together to finish out a game as opposed to the Pirates and the San Diego Force. Sergi, set, delivers, outside for a ball. Sergi comes set. And here's the pitch. Another one outside for another ball. Well, Nicholas Sergi, we've mentioned this season a lot of similarities to Troy Resch, his teammate at Citrus College, as well as both of them going to Cal State East Bay. But Troy Resch has been MIA as of late for the Pirates. He's been missing in action. Off the plate again. Another ball. And so Sergi beginning to maybe struggle a little bit here, trying to shut things down in the 9th inning, as he gave up a leadoff hit to Aguilar. Now a 3-ball count here to Pendleton. Pendleton draws a walk. So the first 2 base runners reach base here in the home half of the 9th inning. One on a single and one on a walk. And here comes Frank Salazar. I was wondering if somebody would start loosening up in the bullpen. And it does appear that somebody's getting up there, and that looks to be Vega. So, yeah, Vega will head over there with Gomez to loosen up now that the first 2 runners have reached base in the bottom of the 9th inning. Foul ball behind home plate. 0-1 the count here to Frank Salazar. Well, for Sergi, you're still nursing a 4-run lead, so really you just want to focus on the hitter at the plate and look for a ground ball as you turn 2. You're in good shape. Middle infielder is sort of playing that double play depth as well, as the corner infielder on the left side, the third baseman Padlow, is on the edge of the infield grass. Bunting it and fouling it was Salazar. Well, you were wondering maybe for a second, would they try to do that? Would they try to potentially sacrifice? But I think if you're bunting, you're trying to bunt for a hit, because even though you could sacrifice 2 runners in the scoring position and get a chance to score 2 runs, not sure if you want to sacrifice an out to do that in this situation in the 9th inning. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, right center field. That's a bloop base hit. And the third man is going to reach here, as actually the throw to second almost got the runner in time, but Varela couldn't stay on the bag. So the bases are loaded, and now the tying run is at the plate. And so all of a sudden, the wheels, I guess, falling off the wagon, so to speak, here for the Pirates, as there's a bases loaded jam with no outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. 8-4 the score. Austin Clifton at the dish is 1 for 3. Doubled in the 3rd inning, grounded out in the 5th, and flew out to left field in the 7th. First pitch, swing and a miss, and a big swing at that. Strike 1, 0-1 the count. Well, if nothing else, as we mentioned at the beginning of this inning, he had 6, 7, and 8 due up. And so now at the very least, you're going to get back to the top of the lineup here for the Sharks. And even if you ground it out into a double play, you still get back to the top of the lineup. Fastball off the plate outside, ball 1. 1-1 the count. So Vega really needs to get up in a hurry, as we mentioned, as the first 3 runners have reached base here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Still no outs. Tying run at the plate. 1-1. Strike 2 on the outside corner. 1-2 the count. So Clifton, followed by Williams and Edmonds. Meanwhile, the middle infielder is playing sort of medium depth over there, which is a bit interesting. I feel like they would just try to turn 2. Ground ball right side through the infield for a base hit. In comes 1 run, and they go station to station, as it's now 8-5, and the ball gets past Nick Marshall, and it's now 8-6. and the two runners move up to second and third, both in scoring position with no outs in the inning. So back to the top of the lineup. The Sharks go, and this is Williams. Williams is 1 for 4. Singled in the fifth, also reached an error in the first inning. Tying run in scoring position. The winning run at the plate. First pitch, strike one. 0-1 the count. Well, really, there were no signs of this from Sergi, as Sergi, for the most part, was looking like he was really handling the opposition. Sergi set, delivers, strike two. And so now, in this jam, his team nursing a 2-run lead, but 2 runners in scoring position with no outs. So in the situation, the Sharks really don't even necessarily need to hit to tie the game up. If they could get a couple fly balls to the outfield, or even a ground ball to the right side of the infield here, trying to tie this one up. And a nice block there by Marshall on the breaking pitch in the dirt. Because if that had gotten past him, another runner would have come home to score. And so all of a sudden, Pirates walking a tight rope here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Fastball lined foul down the left field line off the bat of Williams. Well, they did something similar to this in their last win, actually, against the South Bay Saints, if you recall, where it was another game in the 8th and 9th innings where Andrew Eppenbach really walked that tight rope, as I was saying, and somehow, some way got out of it. Sergi's going to have to do the same thing here. Fly ball, shallow left center field. Sealman's going to make the catch, and he's going to make the throw home to the plate. It's cut off, and they tag him out at the plate. And so it's a double play there. And very, very tough if you're the Sharks to get a runner thrown out at the plate like that. And so just like that, a double play, as we mentioned, 2 outs in the inning, and it's still 8-6. So really now just the tying run at the plate, and you don't have the tying run at second anymore in scoring position. So a big play there by Sealman, who we've seen make a number of good plays out there in center field this season. Also a nice job to cut that one off and to make the play home to the plate. Here's Damian Edmonds. Edmonds with a couple hits in this game. Also a run scored. First pitch he sees. Ground ball over to the shortstop, Varela. Varela fields cleanly, and the dig can't be made by Alvarez. The runner's going to come home. Alvarez to the plate, and it gets past the catcher, Marshall. It's 8-7. And now the runner advances to second base, as it was an error by the first baseman. Well, this has been anything but easy, as errors are beginning to pile up. It's 8-7. Tying run is now back at second base. An error made to first allowed the runner to get on base, and then an error to home allowed a run to score. Here's Espinosa. Espinosa 2 for 4. First pitch, blown away, ball one, 1-0 the count. So meanwhile, the play made by the center fielder, and that relay was even more important after what just happened after it. Here's the pitch, the 1-0 in there for strike one. 1-1 the count. As we mentioned, Espinosa 2 for 4. Singled his middle 2 at-bats in the 3rd and 6th innings. Struck out in the 1st and lined out to left field in his last at-bat in the 8th. And that one was hit pretty hard in the left field. Breaking pitch in the dirt, gets past Marshall, and the runner is now at third base. Tying run 90 feet away. 2-1 the count now to Espinosa. Meanwhile, the entire infield is now in shade. Not exactly sure if that's got anything to do with this pretty much nightmarish inning for the Pirates. And really, they were leading 8-1. And the Sharks have come all the way back to make it 8-7 and have the tying run 90 feet away. And it looks like they're going to continue to go with Sergi to finish this one out. Low and inside, 3-1. So a 3-1 pitch. This is a major hitter's pitch here for the number 3 hitter in the lineup, Espinosa, to try to sit potentially dead red on fastball and look for something that he can drive. So Sergi can't, make a mistake here. 3-1. Low and away. Ball 4. 5-pitch walk drawn. The 8th hitter in the inning now stepping up to the plate. Charlie Reynoso calling for time, heading out to the mound for the first time today. And, that's almost like a surprise in itself, as you've seen really a short leash on a number of pitchers that he's had this season. And just in general, it seems like he always goes out to the mound. This is the first time today trying to get the final out of the game. And he's going to go to Vega when we return on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
Don't you love the life you kill? The priest is on the phone. Your father hit the wall. Your mom disowned you. Don't suppose I'll ever know. So means to be a man. Something I can exchange. A little round here. I wanna wake up where you are. I won't say anything at all. So why don't you slide?
Well, Jarrett Vega comes into a big situation here, needing to get one out with runners on the corners. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning, 8-7 the score, tying run at third. And this is against the cleanup hitter, who 2 times today has had extra base hits, one of them a home run. First pitch, strike 1. 0-1 the count here to Cloak. So as we mentioned, Cloak with a couple RBIs on the day, a couple runs scored, a couple of extra base hits as well. And that is what Vega's going against right here. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball, just missing low, ball 1, 1-1 the count. So the tying run, as we mentioned, at third base, that's Edwards. The winning run is at first base, that's Espinosa. Working out the stretch, the 1-1 swung on and missed, 1-2. Vega initially seemed like he was going to be a closer type of pitcher, as really the first time he came out here for the Pirates this season against Team San Diego, he worked the final inning. But it's been a bit of a struggle for him ever since. And he's had a very quick leash, as we mentioned earlier. Charlie typically having a quick leash. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And so Vega, that'll be, I think, a confidence builder there for him as he comes in and strikes out the cleanup hitter. And the Pirates somehow, some way, get out of this one with an 8-7 victory after blowing an 8-1 lead and really almost, completely losing it here in the bottom of the ninth inning. But anytime you win, I guess you can feel good about yourselves, as they are all high-fiving there at the pitcher's mound, and they will now shake hands with the host FBA Sharks. So 8-7 is the final here. A very good performance there by Vega to come in and get the one man he faced out on a strikeout, as we mentioned, Cloak, with a home run and a double earlier in the game. And so the Pirates do extend their winning streak to 3 and have now risen their season record to 14-10-1. But it wasn't exactly easy, as we ended up having a 2-hour and 53-minute game. So all of a sudden, man, it's never easy to get that last out, as they always say. And if it was easy, anybody could be a closer and anybody could finish games off. And for whatever reason, it was very tough for Sergi, who we had just previously mentioned that Sergi pitched 7 innings in relief against Team San Diego. And so here he only pitched 2. And then that last inning, for whatever reason, struggling mightily to try to close it out. But luckily, Vega came in and did the job, as he struck out the only hitter he faced to get the save and win the game here for the Pirates. Ryan Allsworth is the pitcher of record who got the win, who finished the 5th inning. And meanwhile, well, the Pirates are going to feel like they may have gone away with 1, although, as we mentioned, they were up by 7 runs at one point, but still kind of just maybe the energy level falling a bit. And, you could end up, you always see, you can end up losing to any team if you lose that adrenaline rush and you lose that energy level. And it almost happened here. So the Pirates will be happy that it didn't. And we'll head right back for more baseball tomorrow when the Pirates take on Gamers Baseball at 6:30 at East LA College. That'll be live on our air. And then once again at 4:30 on Friday. That will be another game against Gamers Baseball that will be live on our air. And then Saturday, the doubleheader that as of now is starting at 2 o'clock. All of these games will be on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Dave Saberi saying thank you so much for joining us here for this non-league matchup. And reminding you of the final score, 8-7. The Pirates win. We'll see you next time on InlandValleyBaseball.com, which will be tomorrow at 6:30.